Yeah, no, I have like a crazy like. It looks like they took the guts out of a Star Destroyer. Like they pulled the shell off a Star Destroyer and then they gave me the ship. That's what mine looks like.
Mine's very boxy. Are you doing your frigate or the main ship?
The the
Your
main
star.
ship,
I gotta remember what the
the
name of that
freighter.
is. Freighter? Yeah. So yeah, mine's very boxy.
Hello, guys, gals, non-binary
Yep.
pals. My name's
Andrew,
Andrew
Hello,
Otway,
internet.
and it is my
We are just discussing No Man's Sky. I'm about to tweet about the fact that we're live.
Yeah, this is welcome to that Iron Fist podcast.
Turns out No Man's Sky is a lot of fun. After we're done, you should go play it.
yeah. I think
are
it's
we
still
just
on
changing over to No Man's Sky stream?
I mean,
If everybody had the right system.
three of us.
Three or four of us do.
I
Yeah,
have the
yeah.
right system.
You just don't
No,
know.
you're in the
It's
minority.
all of
here.
you that are wrong.
You are the minority, therefore you're wrong. Isn't that how it goes?
That's
Oh, is that how
exactly
this works.
Whoa.
Um,
Okay, so like multiple character facets here.
mm,
Let's talk about
That is some
traits-
bleak.
the traits that are on display.
phew.
That is bleak.
Anyways, hello, guys, gals, non-binary pals. My name's Andrew Otway,
All right.
and when we're not talking about
We're
No Man's Sky tonight-
live
yeah,
and
Yeah, we are.
rambling
Right.
about No Man's Sky.
that's a lie. I'm getting us back on track.
I'm literally in roll 20, so I mean that's like all that we.
I am as well. I am actually looking at
Timothy Cartswallop. Who's Tim Cartswallop?
He's the dwarf friend that you made at the end of the last session. You know, the person with whom you
I am looking at whether I need to change one of my, because there was a deeds point on offer at the end of last session.
It wasn't like.
And I've been wondering if that is actually for real now that you've had a week to think about it.
It's not. You get a.
You're
deed
muted,
point.
by the way, for me, Andrew. So
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. It's
And
not
have been for.
Yeah, apparently a while. I was wondering why people were talking over me, and I thought.
yeah, sorry about that.
That's fine. This is on me. Yeah, it's not. There's a deeds point on offer. There's a deeds point on offer when you like become the hermit, right?
Oh, okay. So I have to like.
Do something awesome as the hermit. This is like you can start walking that path.
Okay. Okay.
But
Yeah,
like,
then I will instead. Okay.
it's not just like boom session 4 deeds point.
I mean, I was super into it. A little confused. I will just go ahead and mark down my persona point. And then see about how I want to rewrite this belief here.
So
essentially.
are you like, you know, are you taking the path less traveled, let's say?
I think I'm leaning into Booze Hermit. Because I've changed my third belief around. My first belief is still the same. I am the Maestro of the Grapery. I will create a vintage that proves this.
Mm-hmm.
My third belief is my dreams have power, but I must learn to interpret them. I will construct a sanctum for my studies.
Outstanding.
And so I imagine this is going to be taking place at Two Tusks
Yeah.
Winery, since it's or Grapery, since it's the only place I have to do that, essentially. And I imagine my other belief that used to be the one for having a patron, since we've sort of determined that I kind of have a patron now. I still need funding to do all these things. So it needs to be something about like maintaining a relationship with the old lady or finding a way. Can I bring her to the Grapery? Just like have her set up here, like be my own little Rasputin. Something on that order. I think I'll figure that out here as we move forward.
Love it.
We should introduce ourselves.
Yeah. As I said twice while muted, hello guys, gals, non-binary pals. My name is Andrew Otway, and it is my pleasure to bring you tonight Blast-Heath Burns, also known as the Burning the Kingdom of Ash. But it's our attempt at a Burning Wheel campaign. We're all fairly new to the rule set. So I hope you'll hang out with us and maybe learn a few things about this fairly cool game along with us. And I'm going to stop talking now, probably turn my fan to a slightly lower setting, and then let these other lovely people introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Adam. Today I'll be playing Magnus Luciano. He of wealth and acquiring more wealth until he has all the wealth.
That's the thing he does.
Mm-hmm.
Hi there, guys, gals, and non-binary. Oh, wait, shit. Andrew already did that. I'm Mike J. Darkson Berard. I'll be playing my character, who is not at all Belle. Her name is Lady Margareta Agnesia Luca Pasqualina de Fabri. And she is a spy/assassin person.
By episode 20, when the town is burning down, your intro for her is going to be 3 minutes long as new names get added.
All right, so everyone, I just want to make sure that everyone knew that every time I am adding it.
It's pretty great.
So I know this is an aside and that Zach has introduced themselves, but we have a bot in this channel that I have not seen before.
Yeah, that's new to me as well. I just asked in the like our Discord thing. I'm not sure what's up with that.
Yeah, I can't imagine that we have
Interesting.
enough traffic that we need a Nightbot, but
Right.
Yeah. Do we have our own Geth, essentially?
I don't know. But I would like to decommission it at this juncture. It seems.
Yeah. Doesn't seem super.
hey, you could ban the Nightbot.
It has moderator.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be a bot.
Yeah, in order to do the thing it just did, yeah. Yeah, no, man. Swing that hammer. See how it goes.
Anyway, Zach, do you want to?
Hi. Yes. Hi, I'm Zach. He, him. I am playing Indiso de la Vino, who had something of a religious / mindfuckery experience last time, and is now extremely respectful of his betters. Those betters being the wizened old woman from the woods who knows all about the occult and is now taking me back under her wing ? So that I might learn this as well.
She was very pleased with herself when you turned into a capable student with the mere application of like an ob6 spell.
Yeah, with the
worked
with the
without
mere
your
application.
knowledge.
Mm-hmm. The mere application of like a fairly powerful magic worked on my brain. Yes.
I went back and listened to the session today at time and a half speed, and I have a very clear like echo of my own voice saying "Holy shit!" when Mike was like, when I was like, she says like something about Indiso being rash, and then Mike's like, yeah, I mean, like, can you do something about that? And I was like, oh my god, I can.
I am proud.
You bought yourself a lot of goodwill with that spooky old lady with that simple question.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
I
it was the
can.
right thing to do.
So at this point, it looks like Indiso is rededicating himself to the degree that is possible to the mystic arts, and seeing if he can't do something along the lines of master his own dreaming abilities and not suck at being a weird person who would live in the woods if they didn't have a grapery.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Grapery, man.
Awesome. Do we want to go through our beliefs, instincts, and traits?
Sure. So Magnus will go first here, I suppose. I still have two of the same beliefs. One being non-citizens should not be allowed here. I'll drive them out of business, and I must preserve the citizenship. I'll bring together the old families by restoring the Merchants Guild. And then my third one, I got the persona point last week, so I'm changing it tentatively to my wealth is my power. I must use it to thwart the Silver Hearth by owning the land. If that's specific enough.
Yeah.
Okay. And then once again, instincts, never pay full price for anything. I refuse to lie to make a deal, and I'm writing my memoirs. Traits, inscrutable, distracted, self-satisfied, prideful, traditionalist, and affinity for business.
Good stuff.
Margareta's beliefs are: I will win my father's favor by inserting myself into the usurper's court. I will disrupt the usurper servers by gaining access to their ledgers, and all changes rooted in chaos and killing person is the next step on that path. The killing thing is taking a bit of a backseat as of late. We'll see if that continues.
Okay. If you want to just strike that belief and then come up with a new one, or you can leave it there. It's up to you.
Yeah, there's the first half is good.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how the second half shakes out.
Okay.
My instincts: I will pry every secret from every lip, never let someone get too close, and always be network building.
Nice.
I think I took some steps on a couple of those.
Mm-hmm.
My traits are your lordship, prideful, traditionalist, and violent. My die traits are cold-hearted, darling of the court, mark of privilege, and my calling trait is aura of innocence. I have one existing relationship, the prince's just favorite daughter, and one building relationship, one circle, Timothy Cartswap, within parentheses, try not to harm this dwarf.
He's a very good boy.
Poor Timothy.
I think we'll be seeing more about Timothy soon.
Only if Timothy's very unlucky.
That was a big reason why I went back actually to watch the last session, was to get his voice again. And then I made the mistake of listening to it at 1.5 speed.
Nice. So it's going to be like him on a cup full of espresso?
Woof.
Okay. That makes it my turn, I believe. So, Indiso's gone through some changes since last time. I hit a couple of my beliefs, and so I mixed them around a little bit. I am still the Maestro of the Grapery. I will create a vintage that proves this.
Mm-hmm.
I am nothing if not a creature of pride. I will need material support for my studies. I will attract locals of means to be my patrons.
Okay.
Essentially, I am going to attempt to run the Maharaja scam on whoever I can get into my Grapery. My dreams have power, but I must learn to better interpret them. I will construct a sanctum for my studies.
Outstanding.
The Sanctum Grapetorum?
Oh, God. Yes.
And then just inscribed, above it, in, gold filigree, is In Vino Veritas.
Exactly. For my instincts, I will always accept a drink if offered and inquire if none is. Some things never change. I will always follow my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And I will look for occult signs in all things.
Outstanding. God, that's going to be... That's a very good instinct. Because there are a lot of ways that just makes your life more interesting.
Also, I'm terrible at it. I'm terrible at reading occult signs.
Which is
the worst.
Which is a great way to level your... to finish opening and learn symbology.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's what's the symbol, did that sparrow just fall? Let me consult the...
Literally every happening around me all the time. It's gonna be great.
God, you're gonna be so tedious. I love it. All right. And so the game begins. Does anyone have a scene that they really want to get us started on?
Not yet.
Okay.
I mean, I know what I'm doing, but I don't want to step on Magnus's toes if
Sure.
they've got something interesting to throw us into.
I don't have anything solid right now.
Okay.
Can I pitch a thing to you, Magnus? Since you are a local of means.
I heard something about scams, but yeah, sure.
Do you want to be one of the people that I've already brought in to show the beginnings of my weird wine temple construction here? And I'm pitching you getting in on the ground floor of this new spiritual enterprise.
I mean, certainly that sounds interesting. Yeah.
How public is this, or how many? Is it you and Magnus alone, or are there going to be a bunch of potential investors?
It could, I think it could go either way. If it's just me and Magnus, I'm definitely going to be leaning on the fact that we're co-conspirators, right?
Sure.
If I brought in more people, then yeah, I'd be doing like the larger pitch, and like essentially, this is my wine Patreon. Please support me.
Right.
I will be creating these wonderful vintages. Part of that from the beginning.
Really, I think it's more of a drip than a Patreon.
Oh.
Just that look you gave me. Anyways.
It was deserved.
You're not wrong. Okay.
So like I've got my workers are like staking out. We've like taken the highest field, right?
Sure.
And my workers are currently like staking out some sort of a fairly large area of this top field with like cord running between it, and it could look like just like grapevine sort of hangings, but in this case, no. What they're doing is they are under my instruction, sort of proportioning out where this place would go. Now imagine I'm leading like a gaggle of what I hope are gullible and or amenable local nobility / merchant class / whatever. Maybe I might actually be aiming for like the merchant class as like a chance. This is a chance to like raise your standing, and like dropping the fact that I'm like know some people at court and my wines have been served.
You've got that reputation, don't you?
I do. I very much do. And so I'm sort of stumbling. Everybody's got a glass in their hand. Some of them have wine in them. Some of them don't. I'll probably be attempting to refill them. I imagine one of the tusks is like following us. I don't know where the other tusk got off to.
Oh, the goat.
Yeah, the goats. As my workers, some of them are still doing like a grapery stuff, but like some of the ones that are like staking out this like where this foundation is going to go are deeply annoyed with me right now. And so here will be the sanctum that we are building, so that we might complete the spiritual journey of the wine properly. The rites and rituals inside. Does anyone need a drink, by the way? Can I top you off? You in the back?
So you're like addressing the crowd?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm trying to see if this is the role here.
They're all the role. All of them.
Well, it's just like... Yeah, I'm curious. So I think a couple people in the scene, like one of them is absolutely Eladrian Woodsorrow.
Okay.
I think there's probably some like a third son of some noble house there in attendance, and essentially like heard there was free wine.
Okay. Yeah. No, that definitely would be a way I got people in the door, for sure.
Yeah. I think maybe Bella Fusilieri is here, the distracted inventor lady that Magnus was talking to last time.
Okay.
Magnus, if you are here, then you're here somewhere.
Yeah.
A couple other like extras we've seen in scenes involving merchant people, right? Like in a couple establishing shots, sort of thing. I don't know if I want to like. So if you're addressing a crowd and trying to get something out of a crowd, then it's orator is the skill.
Oh God.
Which you don't have.
I don't have at all. No.
So yeah, I'm not sure if like that's a thing that you're gonna try or if you're gonna take a different strategy here or.
I think initially I would try that. I think I'm gonna try to like, I'm gonna open oratory.
Yeah, opening oratory is the most common will exponent in the crowd. I don't think it's very high. Probably just an of 3, but
Okay.
you'll be rolling will.
Yes, I will. My will's not nothing,
Okay.
but I'm gonna have to like ace the check to do this.
Right.
So.
Well, I think because it's will, it's open-ended.
Oh.
Because you can take this either as a thing where you're learning oratory, or you can take it as a will test. And if you take it as the will test, then it's open-ended, but you're not learning oratory.
I think I want to try to learn oratory.
Okay. It'll be useful when you're like the
Exactly.
Lying in
alcohol
front of a crowd.
or the alcohol rebel leader out in the woods.
The alcohol rebel.
Oh
God.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think people are a bit distracted by like a couple of your workers who you had like staking out the place, and you said they weren't particularly happy. Seem to have just abandoned what they were doing and have gone back to like actually just tending to the grapes properly.
All right. I will then sort of like stop the crowd. Excuse me one moment. I must attend to my workforce. And what are you doing? You thug! Get over here!
And I think Thog just like glances over her shoulder and shrugs and like goes back to like, you know, minding these grapes.
Well, anyway, as you can see, sort of turning and ignoring Thog,
Yeah.
pretending as though that insubordination did not just happen.
Right.
This zone here, this will be crucial to the creation of the spectacular quality vintages that you've come to expect from us. We are going to be stepping up our game through means that I'm not exactly comfortable discussing in a larger group. But if you would like to come with me this way, we can go and we will do a sampling, and I'll sort of turn. And I imagine my second in command is there, and they're like,
Is that the goat?
no, this is we've established. I don't know if this person has a name. This orc person.
They need a name if you're gonna like get them to do things for you.
They do.
I'm gonna leave that to you.
Oh,
I imagine that like
I suggest we should name it like, I don't want to say like Bad Quill specifically, but you should name him after, I don't know, something.
Bad Quail.
That's not Tusky enough though.
It's not super tusky. How do we do Quail? Anyway, so I'll have a think on this. So this individual is like out there, and I imagine them like in their normal like work vest and work trousers, but in my head they have like the tuxedo collar and like cuffs on, and they're like holding a platter that has wine on it. If you'll follow my my concierge, what's his name? We'll call him Quail.
Okay.
If you follow Quail back into the main building, we have a tasting, so that you might better know what your funding would support. I will join you momentarily. At which point I like stomp off through the field.
I was gonna say, if there seems to be a moment here, Ladrienne is going to like step in and like try to get your attention.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I imagine like maybe they're there as they wait while everyone else turns around and follows Quail into the.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, if anybody else hangs back, that's up to them. But she's going to say, Master Vino, when you have a moment, when you're done with your creative workforce, I have a proposition that I would like to extend.
Oh, well, yes. One moment, and I'll like turn and I'll. Fog. And I'll turn and please walk with me, and I'll give her my like, non-walk, essentially.
She like sort of like quirks an eyebrow at your management style, but like has a pretty solid poker face.
Okay.
And effectively, I know that it's a bit odd that I'm here, given that we run not necessarily competing businesses, but at least similar businesses. And I aim for, say, a broader range of product than your more specialized stock. But I was wondering, the cask, the vintage you brought me previously, you intimated that there could be more. What exactly is that? Does that have to do with this and like motions to like the people, staking out land and like? I imagine there's a couple like chunks of vine that have been cleared away that aren't.
Yeah, like there's vine that's been pulled back and sort of mounted up somewhere. Like we're waiting to figure out what we're doing with it.
Yeah.
All that. Yes. So take a like long, deep swig as I sort of formulate this. The intent with this new construction is to actually to produce more of such fine vintages. Our equipment and our storage, as it is fairly limited in its ability to produce that sort of quality and the various notes that were in that I gave you. But with this new construction, we would be able to put more aside under stronger conditions and perform the proper rites and these things, as you know, to set the wine right and make it in larger volumes.
You can see that she's like half listening to you and like half furiously writing down mental notes. And she's like, "Oh, please do continue." And like, and are you going to have to scale down your production at all? I mean, you're clearing a fair amount of space, and that's just going to naturally restrict the amount of grapes you can grow. No?
Oh, we will be recouping that space, or those vines elsewhere. There should be no. The quality of the wine produced overall should come up without sacrificing production quantity in any real way, is the intent. That is also the intent of the rites and the procedures we will be undertaking in the sanctum in order to better produce the wine at volume.
How honest are you being?
I'm really... Zach as a player is not sure.
Okay.
I don't know how much of this is, because I don't know how much of this is realistic ideas as far as wine production. I don't know how much of the bullshit D&D magic applies to this whole concept.
I super don't care about the like physics of wine production. She's either trying to encourage you to make a mistake by cutting your production. At which point she's probably going to offer you the money to shoot your own foot. Or
okay.
If she actually believes that like you're not going to harm production, then she's just trying to pump you for information so that she can prepare a similar vintage.
Okay. Do I get this sort of sense from her? Is this an information that Bino would have about, or that Indiso would have about the conversation?
I don't know. I don't know how sophisticated Indiso is.
Well, I mean, so Indiso is like
his winery is called a grapery,
right?
But I think Indiso is better at dealing. I mean, my skills don't necessarily reflect this, but like Indiso's backstory is better at dealing with like people being shitty than it is making wine, essentially, sure. Right?
Well, so I'm not sure if she's going to try to persuade you, or if you're like falsehooding her, or if you're gonna have like a vintner off or something, or if she's just gonna like roll grape wise when she gets home.
That's awesome. I think what would happen is I am going to try to, I'm gonna try to get her to fund this project because that was the whole goal, right?
Okay.
And so I will essentially tell her what she wants to hear in order to get her to do that.
Okay.
I would probably also be trying to like make sure I still have somewhere to sell my wine or like that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, she'll
at the same
buy
time,
it. She's got better buyers than you do.
Exactly. So I will. I think that's falsehood. I think.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think I'm
or
actively
I mean, it's
manipulating
persuasion.
her.
Like it's
Yeah.
because persuasion is, hey, I've got your best interest in heart. Here's why you should do what I want. That's persuasion. So I mean,
I'll buy it.
Whichever you want the test in, I think is fair.
Let's just go persuasion.
Okay.
Let's go persuasion. I am going to. Can I fork in grape-wise? Like, because I'm bullshitting about wine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can I fork in vintner and grape-wise, and probably falsehood just because I'm tweaking it that little bit?
Yeah. No, that seems fair.
All right.
Then persuasion's against her will, which I believe we said was not small.
Yeah. No. So
I want to say it's
forks
6.
coming parts.
Oop. Let's look at all the chat logs.
Would my reputations apply?
That's a very good question. I don't know if reputations apply to this. I think they definitely apply on circles.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have
Well,
a
I think-
reputation with a vintner? Like, I mean,
Well, as
I
a
have-
vintner.
I have, so my reputation is
Oh, she's only a 5
Genius. Rebel Genius 2-Tusk Proprietor is my 2-die reputation. I just don't know whether it applies to... Because I think we're only having this conversation because of my reputation.
Yeah.
So I think that's what the reputation got me, essentially. The reputation got me everybody showing up. And I don't think she gives a crap about my reputation other than what she knows about me.
No, but if
Right.
it helps mechanically, then it should still help mechanically. Reputations, 95 or 384.
I'll look at I'm closer to 384. So,
Okay.
new reputations, advancing reputation. I don't think it's here.
Bad Quill has said that affiliations are only circles. I think reputations can help with attributes.
Okay. Spending resources and relationships, reputations. This is just getting them. Gangs and crews, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's say no, and then...
Okay. Yeah, we'll come back to it. It's fine.
Yeah. She's only
All
got
right.
a will of 5.
Okay, well, that's not impossible then.
Mhm.
Where did you go? Persuasion?
Yep.
Modifier's 3.
Are you going to spend Artha on this?
Do I have to spend it beforehand?
You have to spend Persona ahead of time. You can spend Fate after.
Persona is for the +1 dice.
Yeah.
I
then-
am going to...
Fate is you
Yeah.
get to reroll 6s.
I'm just going to let this roll then.
Okay.
And we'll... Wow!
That's rough.
That's 3 1s on 7 dice.
You 3 1s on both your rolls.
nice.
Yeah, no, she locks eyes with you. Grins like a shark. Extends a hand and says, I'll have my men bring over the paperwork this afternoon.
Excellent. I am looking forward to being in business with you and your patronage. I say mostly sloshing
Yeah.
wine on the ground in my terror and unhappiness.
In your semi-prophetic stupor. Right?
Well, yeah.
Okay. So I just want to.
Mhm.
Okay, so she's having people come over and she's going to be supporting me in this endeavor.
She is going to have people come over. They're going to give you legal documents. I don't know if I'm gonna like force you to sign them because we can cross that bridge when you come to it. But basically, she smells blood in the water, and whether or not you're smart enough to realize that she's going to just basically try to buy your property out from under you.
Okay. That's fair. I was gonna say because I failed the roll, so she shouldn't be like actually supporting me. That makes more sense.
Yeah, no,
okay.
she is. She is exactly the kind of person who doesn't tell you that she's like sizing a noose up for you.
As she does. All right. Cool. So let's go. Let's take it inside.
Yeah.
And I imagine like we just finished this conversation like fairly close to the building that houses and I imagine like the tasting room in the Two Tusk Winery is like rustic.
Okay.
Like maybe a little overly rustic. Like
I imagine it's definitely like at maximum occupancy, definitely past comfortable.
Yes.
She like flashes a little smile at Magnus as she walks in, and it is the shit-eatingest grin you've seen in a week, Magnus.
Yeah.
Bella's probably like asking if there's anything stronger than wine around. A couple of the other minor nobles, like one of them has just gone outside to vomit.
I imagine they probably have some like grappa around. Like we got like the leavings,
waste.
The stuff the orcs.
This is the waste
stuff
we offer the people with no taste.
Yeah, exactly. We have stronger stuff though.
Well,
she
was into brandy and port last time, so.
This is what the workers drink after hours, and this is what we clean things with. You can try it here. Quail, please get the lady some of the. I'll just call it grappa. Get the lady some of our grappa, latest vintage, please.
Yeah, and she'll definitely.
Like, as Quail's going past me, and not the one with like the mouse legs in it, the other one. Thank you.
The other newest one.
Yeah.
So
she'll swill a bunch of it and love it. Honestly, it's
nice. Good peoples. I am glad. I'm thankful you graced us with your presence. Hopefully, you have taken in what we have to offer here, and you recognize this for the excellent opportunity that it is. We provide not only excellent wine, but a certain cultural cachet that I don't think you get other places. And I imagine like Quail like slams a bottle of wine down like exactly that moment, right?
Yeah.
So please, I will be mingling. If you would like to speak with me some more about the specifics of your support, please feel free. But otherwise, have an excellent evening, and be sure to request whatever vintages you wish to sample. And then I will like start drinking and wandering around.
Cool.
Attempting to convince people, schmoozing essentially, people into supporting my endeavor here.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to do, Magnus?
I don't think Magnus had any interest in the business venture, but before he leaves, he will caution or congratulate Indiso on his good fortune and his patronage, but warn him that you better cross your T's and dot your I's with any contract you sign with that old hag.
Your warning is well taken, friend. I will keep both eyes on her. Like, he sort of looks at you through the glass.
It's like your eyes just like drift apart slightly.
Are you yourself looking to shower us with your support?
I currently don't have any ambition in the wine realm, but I do have some deals going through for some prime grape growing land that I'm working on as we speak. Perhaps we can talk once that goes through.
We would be happy to manage your graperies, my good sir. We are an excellent. I don't want to use that word.
Vintner.
We are highly skilled with the vintnering here at Two Tusk Wineries, and are always looking for satellite operations.
Thus, the franchise was born.
Mm-hmm. Two Tusk Graperies just all over the Northern Empire, right?
Okay.
Bid you good day, sir. And then I'll like turn
Just take
around
his
and
leave, yeah.
yeah, I'll continue schmoozing, seeing who I can, who or if I can turn anyone to my support. I don't know if I can.
I mean, is there anyone in particular you want to hone in on?
What's her face with the grappa? Seemed pretty pleased with that. I'll go have a talk.
Bella.
Bella.
Bella
This is,
Fusiliere.
This is the inventor from last time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And she's not wearing her gloves, but you can see there's like she probably has like slightly fewer scorch marks on like a very particular line around her forearms on either side.
Does she have the welder's tan
Yes.
that ends at the gloves?
Yeah.
Haha, my lady, I see you are enjoying our one of our coarser vintages. I like pour myself. I'll pour the grappa into the wine glass. Like shove that back.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's still a little thin, but
Well, we I don't believe that what you're drinking currently has been distilled at all. If it pleases, we could probably break it down into slightly higher concentrations for you if you would like.
yeah, like her eyes light up. Like, wait, distill? And like she clearly doesn't know how wine happens, like how you get from grape to booze. But like
you take an ingot of wine and
Right.
you put it in the forge.
you take the wine hens. No, so she's like by mentioning like a process, like a repeatable scientific process, she is suddenly interested. Like there's a fire in her eyes you haven't seen before. And basically, yeah, she's like, "Oh, you must tell me more on how it's done, and like I must see your whole operation." And she like gets up. She's a little unsteady on her feet because she's been drinking in the sun for probably an hour or so by now. And so like I'm assuming Quail steadies her if you don't.
Yeah. Quail will study her, and then I imagine like the goats are used to this, so one of them like sidles up next to her as a support animal.
Yeah.
Right. Quail, see these fine folks. I'm taking the lady out to see the operation, and I will sort of lead her out the door with Tusk walking shotgun.
Yeah.
And so part of the construction we were planning on putting in is actually a full range distillery for the creation of enriched spirits, as it were. But as of right now, our distilling operations are fairly limited because we just don't have as much to work with. This could obviously change with a sizable influx of money.
She's like, yeah, wrapped. I'm assuming you're touring her through like the skunk works of your operation, and like
Exactly.
every single time there's like a process in any way, shape, or form. Like the stomping of the grapes, she's like measuring the height of like the barrel, and like, well, if you used like, and she's like, if you use slightly more, and then and she's like figuring out ways to like improve these processes, probably with like a decent quantity of metal, probably more explosions than should occur in close proximity to alcohol, and like just what is it like more like she's more eager than she is cautious by a fairly wide margin.
Well, yeah, she's also fairly drunk, so I'm sure that's even.
Well, yeah, and like, yeah, at one point she's like, "Oh, can I get in there?" and like stomps a couple grapes if you don't like physically restrain her.
I don't physically restrain her.
Right.
I don't know if there's like orcs that are around that are stop her, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly happy to let her climb around the innards of my grapery that I never visit, basically, anyway. So.
Like, you're actually, like, you have produced vintages that are, like, superb or something?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm the brains of the operation.
You're the ideas guy?
You're the luck of the operation.
Fuck.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, so I would, if she keeps lighting up at machines, I would show her literally all.
Okay.
And I imagine my orcs are like standing in the background, like, this dude's gonna automate us out of a job.
I don't know if they think that, because I don't know if that's like a thing people know to be afraid of yet.
True, that's true. Yes, with an upgraded machinery, we could produce a much larger volume of wine to sell. The returns on investment would probably be substantial, I would suspect. Oh yes, please don't step. Oh, that's fine. We'll. Could you clean that? Thank you.
Jeez. Oh, you simply must tell me how this works, and it's, some part of the winemaking process. Like, it's the basket for like putting the grapes in, and she's just like, this could be so much better. Like, why is this? This just seems like very inefficient. And is there any way we could just make the default product but a lot stronger?
I don't know that there's not, actually. We can explore this idea together. I like this. Please, if you'll turn this way, and I'll sort of like walk her out of the Skugworks, and like back up the hill towards the construction site.
Okay.
Like, now, if you will imagine,
and
all
she,
of
like,
that
wobbles a little.
Mm-hmm. And steadies herself on the goat.
Yeah.
All of that, but here in a shiny, new, custom, purpose-built building with presses and distillery and steaming things and levers.
She nods at like the steaming things, like, yes, steam is important.
And levers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just bullshitting her about construction. Like, I am queuing in on her is it nature.
Right.
And I'll be like, this is how dangerous and explosive we can make wine. Are you in?
Right. What do you get on a success? Because this is definitely some flavor of roll.
I get her patronage, right? Like her patronage and potentially her expertise.
Okay.
Right? Like, I want some degree of funding, and then like somebody can be like, okay, so what I really want to make is 300 proof beer, or 300 proof booze. Can we do that? Is that a thing we can do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's definitely on. Like, you're probably getting her expertise whether you ask for it or not at this point.
Yeah, I expect so.
But yeah, let's see if you can scam money out of her. So yeah, do you think this is persuasion or falsehood?
I think it's probably persuasion again.
Okay.
I'm once again I'm baffling her with bullshit. So I'm going to say I'm gonna pitch Grapewise and Vintner as
forks.
As forks. I think I probably would also pitch falsehood, just because like.
Have you lied though?
I don't know if I am. I'm definitely like portraying an expertise I don't have on some level. We can stick with those two. What's my ob?
3.
3?
She is not especially willful. She is very, very perceptive.
All right, we'll see how this goes. Yes,
Yeah.
nailed it.
She like has that moment of like snap sobriety.
Okay,
And
yeah.
you're explaining this thing to her, and like just all of a sudden she just grabs your shoulder, spins you, and looks you dead in the eyes. And she's just, "You must allow me to assist you in this."
Oh, my lady, that was the plan all along. All along.
Right. And she's actually got like a strong grip on your shoulder, right? Like it's
Well, she said she like works for a living. She's
Right.
got the hands, right? Yeah. Yeah. No, my lady, we will make excellent booze together. Please come with me. And I'll like direct her back to the house, or back to the big house building here,
yeah.
and walk her in. And if there's anybody else still in here,
I'm imagining it's fairly cleared out by now.
yeah, I am too. So yeah, I would like.
She's going to ask you for a cask of grappa.
Yeah, I was about to say, Quail, can we provide the lady with some libations for the road?
You're right. Well, she's asking for like a proper, like she's expecting kind of a proper cask. I don't know if she'd actually ask for the whole thing, just because that seems a bit gauche.
I mean, I imagine like Quail comes out with like a bottle of like murky gray liquid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whole thing, bringing the whole thing out.
Yeah.
Not the mouse one, the other one.
And at which point she's probably going to expect like it delivered to her house of residence by cart. So
yeah, we're gonna put the guys on it.
yeah, that seems like
We have delivery orcs.
Right. Seems like a decent place. Well, and she's just going to crash in the back of the car.
Yes, exactly. Our goats know every address, and so we just put people on carts. And
I mean, the left fusilaries are like big, so perfect. That seems like a good spot to end your scene.
yeah,
The very drunk heiress passed out in the back of your goat cart.
Goat cart is such a great phrase.
I love my goats. I love my goats so much. Tusk and tusk.
See, now I'm really looking forward to like when you go full rebel leader symbologist. What's it? And you put on like a Super Bowl show, and you've got left tusk and right tusk.
Oh. As I address my throngs.
Right. All right, Margareta or Magnus, do you have a scene that you'd like to follow that up with?
How do you follow that up?
Right.
I mean, I'm not really going to do anything else except horrible things to this lovely dwarf person. So,
Okay.
Adam, did you have a thing that you wanted to do first?
You're muted.
Yep. Oh, there we go. I'm unmuted now.
Okay.
I forgot that. Did that. No, I just have capitalism. That's all.
Capitalism. Oh. Well, so I'm trying to figure out exactly like how to do this.
Okay.
But, like, I want to either get or like either want to do like a. I need to move to the next tier of court. So I'm trying to figure out how to like increase reputation with this guy, or like should I go fetch something for him and bring it back and say like, look, I'm useful in order to get him to ask me to do stuff, or do you think we're at the point where he's got something that he wants already?
So I was going to say a couple days later when you're at court, you catch him like standing in a doorway, looking very out of his element, just like eyes locked on you. And then as soon as he notices you notice him, he's like, come here. Yeah, come here.
I wait a second to make sure that no one's obviously watching.
I mean, like, he is the opposite of subtle.
Sure. But I do that thing that people do where they like pause and like survey the room,
Sure.
and then like I'm not going over there because he's beckoning me. I just happen to be going over there.
Okay. That might be inconspicuous. Like, there are definitely people noticing him noticing him. He is failing this role.
Right. I think that me rolling inconspicuous or something like that would be perfect here.
Okay.
There's something that always forks into that, but I forgot what it was.
Stealthy. Which you have. Let's see what else works in here. Inconspicuous. Inconspicuous is tested in versus test against observation. I don't know how good the people in this room are at observing you, or at least the people who care in this situation.
Right.
So I'll do a 3d6 greater than 4. Is it S greater than 4? I think it's just greater than 4.
And I'll roll inconspicuous plus.
So there's 2 successes.
I get 1 modifier for stealthy.
You get 1 for stealthy, and then you can make arguments for other things.
Stealthy's probably fine. What's the other thing that I have that's possible? Yeah, stealthy's fine.
Okay.
And my base obstacle is 2.
Yes.
Okay. So that seemed to work.
You've got 5. Yeah. Yep. Yes. So yeah, you totally play it cool. I mean, yeah, how do you play it cool? What do we see? Because he's like, oh, you have to talk to me. Come here, come here, come here. And like,
so like I go like towards the wine table or something, like nearby,
sure,
but not actually at him, and do that thing where like I wind up on the wall just around the corner from him, and then speak to him.
Okay.
It's like, oh, hi. There are perhaps quicker and or easier methods to get my attention without flagging me down in the middle of court, which could be considered conspicuous depending on what you want.
And like, there's a pause. He had not considered that. Like, it's just he's a sweet boy without guile, basically.
Right.
He needed to talk to you. He knew you would be here. I didn't know where else I could find you. You would be here because this is one of the things that you do.
Yes.
And then presumably you go elsewhere and do other things, but I don't know about those other things.
Well,
so I knew you would be here.
Or something like ravens. Can they send some sort of bird?
I think we did some kind of messenger bird. I mean, the other thing you do is you go find the court magician and get him to like sending for you. But that's
right. That's yeah. It seems like one of the birds would. Did we decide that one of the birds are like enthralled to some sort of rot? There's the rot raven or thing, or I don't know.
There's definitely some kind of bird that's. Okay. Well, I think it's just like things get rotted, but
yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I thought that. So have you considered? But we'll set up a drop so you can put a message somewhere if you need me to come forth with.
And like, if you could see him, you'd see his eyes being like, "Why would I need a drop? Why? Who would be intercepting our communication? Oh my God, are they a spy? Oh my God, am I a spy?" And like he's also like looking into the room, like kind of wondering why you aren't facing him to talk to him. But like your whole like, you could have sent me a message or we can set up a dead drop, and he's just like, oh, this is so cool, and like immediately like turns his back to the wall so like neither of you are looking at each other.
Yes. As I demurely sip some sort of Two Tusk grapery wine, modern vintage, because it is now slowly becoming all the rage.
Product placement. It's all about product placement.
Yeah, this one's like Oberon's eye.
I imagine my wine cask labels have like really poorly painted like Monster energy drink sort of art on them, right?
when you get better at fortune telling, you should like have an entire array of. I'm telling you this like you're actually making the wine of tarot, like tarot wines. Like this is the king of clubs, not clubs, king of staves.
Instead of the Eye of Oberyn, it's clearly the Eye of Groomsh.
Groomsh eyes. Yeah, and I actually I have the bottle.
It's a bold red, right? It's a bloody bold red.
There's actually I make 2 bottles, and we just like don't put a label on one of them, right?
I really want you to go full cultist, and then you've got like you just start naming like your wines after Vecna and shit like that too.
Mm-hmm. The Red Hand of Vecna sounds like
the hand,
a really hardcore wine, right?
Or just like the Spiller of Secrets, and you're like, because wine loosens tongues.
To pay for this bottle of wine, speak quietly something you would not tell anyone else into the lip of the bottle.
No,
Right.
See, what happens is I magically enchant them so when you first open it, there's a secret that comes out, right? That's the thing every time.
I don't know how to make wine.
This cork was licked by a rat. All right, so now that we've given of Dwarfian his first Torvald Courtwheel, whatever,
Timothy.
his first court spirey lesson.
Court swallow.
Like,
Yep.
yeah, I'm tempted to give him some sort of like pass him a glass of wine, like, hey, see, calm down, look nonchalant.
I mean, you could have grabbed 2.
That's true.
Like, you are a person who is adept at probably this sort of thing. Some
Or at
quantity of
least
spycraft.
He pretends really hard at it.
Right. Listen,
So,
fake it till you make it.
Truth. Yeah, I mean, that is Burning Wheel, right? That's why I've got platitudes open.
Yep.
Soothing the platitudes. All right, Timothy, what can I do for you?
Well, it's
Timothy, my friend.
yeah, and it's my brother. He's gone. And like looks around again. Missing.
Oh. So there's a problem?
Yes.
Is him being missing the problem?
Yes. And
See, I think
very happy with himself.
It could perhaps be an opportunity if you showed yourself to be able to rise to the occasion. Perhaps your brother being missing won't be noticed by those around.
No, but he needs to come back. He's the heir of the family.
I see. And do you have any information about what happened or where they would have gone or
Yes.
just gone? Oh, please enlighten.
He didn't show up for family dinner last night.
Gasp.
He's never late. He always brings Mama a new book.
Okay.
And he's not there. Wasn't there. Isn't anywhere.
It's okay. I'm sure he's somewhere.
Well, his house was broken into.
Really?
It's like he gives the like relevant fact after the
Right. So was there signs of a struggle?
Well, the door was bashed in.
Were valuables taken? I mean, was there blood at the scene? Do they believe?
I don't know. They
he
won't let me go
survived?
see.
Okay. Well, I'll go see, and I'll let you know.
Should I come with you?
I think that wait, what was your question?
Can I get a code name?
You get a code name. Stone Sense.
I like it.
Could you? How about we attack the problem from 2 different directions? I'll go. And
He like
look
flinches at the word attack because that's just not something that he's about. But it's
We'll
like, okay,
approach.
yes, yeah.
We'll approach this problem from 2 different directions. I'll go and look at his place of residence. Where was that again?
And like gives you the address. It's
Right.
a few blocks away from that guy you murdered.
Right. Silly me. And you look in to see if he had any enemies recently that made overtures. Like, does he have any confidants that you're friends with, or that you travel in similar social circles with?
I know a few of his friends, but none of them like me.
Okay. What about? Does he have like personal belongings here at the castle that you could check?
I can see. Do you want to go look in his office?
You're doing a wonderful job with this, Andrew. Yes, as burying the lead as far down as possible. Well done, well done. Yeah, you know what? We'll go there first because we're already here, and maybe we can get more information and go from there and make more educated choices. Right? We want to make sure that we think things through and come to the best conclusion.
You can't see him, but he's nodding vigorously, and like you hear a bit of the wine sloshing around in his cup.
His beard just knocks everything over.
Yeah. Well, there is beard in the glass of wine. He hasn't taken a sip from it or anything. Like, it's just he has something to hold now.
Yes. Excellent. So lead on, Timothy. You go first. I will travel a short distance behind you discreetly.
Oh, right. And like stops, looks up at like, if I'm Stone Sense, who are you? And I think we just like fade out on that scene.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you trail him by a few minutes. He's left like the door to his brother's office slightly ajar. This also isn't the brother who like orders him around all the time. This is a different brother.
Okay. And there's no like guards or anything here?
No, if there were any, Timothy's sent them away. He's not that guileless.
Okay.
Actually, oh, that's way better. Yeah, no, there's totally a guard here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You hear Timothy, like, you haven't rounded the corner yet, but you hear Timothy talking to someone. And the person you hear Timothy talking to is
Block puncher?
no, it's a Luciano, but not the one you and I know.
Brother, head of the Royal Guard.
Yeah, I don't have a good name for him, so we'll call him Captain at this point. But yeah, you hear Captain Luciano discussing with Timothy, and who did you say you were leading here to investigate? Oh well, it's my good friend.
Let's see. Yeah, I'll turn the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Am I well? I'm not good at pretending to be drunk. Bribe-wise, extortion, falsehood.
Falsehood would be
Lie.
pretending to be drunk.
Okay. And I will give off an air of being perhaps somewhat into my cups.
Okay.
And I'll follow it around with like, darling, Timothy, slow down. I can't keep up with you when you're so eager to get where you're going.
Okay.
Just slow down. Where is this again?
Like it. Where? What do you mean?
No, I'm
Okay.
asking Timothy.
Okay. Oh, that's them right now. I mean, or
Yeah.
they both turn to look at you. Let's see the result of the falsehood test.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't know what's my ob.
That's a good question. I think
And,
it's victim's will.
My fork and
Probably.
That's standard for
Falsehood, you can
Falsehood,
fork in
I believe.
persuasion. Base obstacle is always the will of the character you are deceiving. Add an advantage to die if the lie is believable, damn good, or has some kind of kernel of known truth to it.
So I can't open persuasion. put fork in, right?
Right. Yeah, you would need to have persuasion known.
All right. I mean, I have wine in my hand,
Mm-hmm.
and I have wine has touched my lips. So
Mhm. Well, and
perhaps it is
you're also the darling of the court with an aura of innocence.
right.
So yeah, you absolutely get the bonus die.
All right. For two, for one for each.
It'll be one.
Okay.
I don't know if Timothy would help you with this. He'd probably help you with this. You get a die from Timothy helping as well.
Okay.
Because he's like, oh shit, right, I'm supposed to be like...
And you said op 4, right?
Victim's will. Probably, yeah, 4's fine.
Okay. Couldn't remember if you said 3 or 4. Op 3, right?
Yeah. You've
I
got
got
3
good
sixes.
Yeah, you could.
You can throw a fate point, Mike. You can roll.
Sure. What do I do with that?
So, you subtract 1 fate point from your stats and skills section.
Done.
You've got 6. Or you had... Oh no, I'm looking at Indy, so...
I had 6. I have 5 now.
Okay. Perfect.
And I just roll 3d6.
Roll 3d6 with a bang at the end. Okay.
1. So I guess that ties it, right? Does that mean I win?
Yeah, you get what you want.
Hooray!
The captain sort of like, oh my, and like goes to catch you as you stumble.
Yeah. As I pretend to what is ever that word?
Swoon.
Swoon. Yes. Yeah. Phoenix down.
Catches, oh my, my lady. And like looks at Timothy and is just like, is this like the person you were talking about? And like, it's like I see that. I think I see what's going on here now. I'll leave you to your investigation, and like,
it's like, oh, thank you so much, you large strapping man person that caught me while I tripped.
God.
Can I open the laying it on thick skill?
That's falsehood. I was gonna say that might be soothing platitudes even.
Is this guy's name Frederick?
It is now.
With like a R-I-C-K.
Yeah. Captain Frederick Luciano.
Magnus and Frederick sound similar to me.
Yeah, and so very sorry to have held you up, and then like bows deeply, Mr. Cardswallop, and you hear him like walk down the hall, and he's whistling as he goes to make it clear that he's leaving.
I look for a sock to put on the doorknob. No, so Timothy, dear friend, not everyone is as...
I thought you were drunk, my lady.
Oh, well, as your friend, it is upon me to let you know that you don't need to necessarily tell everyone everything. Because what if Frederick was the one that was behind your brother's disappearance?
But he's the captain of the guard.
But you don't know. Maybe he's trying to overthrow your family and is secretly plotting some sort of vengeance.
He like, you see him like the color drain from him in real time.
As opposed to, yeah.
Right, yeah, as opposed to turn-based.
Yeah. Every 6 seconds, one shade falls from his...
Christ.
Yes.
Yep.
So, I mean, you've got to keep your friends close and not always give the unknown people like Frederick such valuable information that you have. But enough about Frederick. Let's find your brother.
Right. And he's, like, pulls into his pocket, and there's, like...
He's got notes.
Well, no, just an array of keys, right? Because he's, like, the logistician and, like, office manager for...
Oh, I thought he was taking notes on a criminal fucking conspiracy, but please continue.
No.
So he's got the keys to the room?
Yeah. Oh, and he's it looks like he's got a lot of keys in here. Like, a lot of keys. And so he's like, this, no, and, like, holds the next one, no. No. And that one. cracks open the door. And this office is very different from Timothy's. If you lit all the candles in here, it would still be fairly dim at nighttime. Thankfully, it has a few just like gorgeous windows with view that's providing light right now. There's like 3 well-trafficked areas in this office, and everything else is under like a thin coat of dust.
Okay.
3 well-trafficked areas are the bar, the desk, and a couch.
Makes sense. Timothy, see if you can turn on anything over by the bar, like see if there's any, like if you can detect traces of poison.
I don't know what I'd look for to find that, but I'll try to be thorough, I guess.
Yeah, just sniff each one and see if you can determine if any of them seem off. Just be sure to take, be thorough, right? You don't want to miss anything.
I think but shouldn't I stay with you? I mean, I think I'd learn best if it was from such an experienced hand at this.
Well, I want you to also get a chance to get some real hands-on work, and just hovering over next to me won't get a chance to stretch those wings of yours.
This feels like persuade, which you don't have. Oh shit. Okay. Falsehood then, because that could.
I mean, I
make
can
it
open up
happen.
persuade, right?
Or you can open up persuade and possibly fail.
Fly, little dwarven birdie.
If I just not persuade him to open up his, it feels like a pretty low threat thing to fail on.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. The metagamer here is going to be like, I'm going to train persuade against this poor dwarf so hard.
Uh-huh.
All right, so add for being learned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Persuasion, and I believe that is probably.
I think it's will. I'm just double checking. It is will.
Okay. There's a 6 there. Why is there a 6? Oh, because it's white something. Who knows?
It's how many tests you need to learn it.
All right. And can I just noble wise 5?
Because it's your perception, which is you have 5 perception and 4 will, so it's 10 minus your stat to learn the skill.
Gotcha. So for persuasion,
Mm-hmm.
which is not in the book.
It is. You won't be able to fork it though, because you're learning it.
I'm just curious. Is it a skill or?
It's a skill.
Yeah.
Goes from purple song to Radicate.
Persuasion is on page 287 of the gold book.
Yes.
Oh, because persuasion is spelled P-E,
Yes.
not P-U.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
I was spelling it the not the Canadian way, but the little lesser known
DC method.
Quebecois way. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
the DC Creole.
There you go.
Peahen would go right there. I'll tell you.
Peahen of Deeds is actually at the top of that column.
But I can't fork in falsehood because I'm just learning to persuade people as opposed to torture them.
Mm-hmm. But you can use Persona to get you an extra die.
What's Persona?
You've got one of them.
Oh no, I'm not going to use Persona on this.
Okay. Also, yeah. Here's just a mechanical note. So if you ever get into a fight to the death, say, you can spend Persona to just not be dead.
Right.
And you're still in a bad situation, but like having one Persona is useful if you feel like you're in a position to get shot. God damn.
Sorry, just ignore me.
Oh,
Just ignore me. That's all me still.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That successes of 9 is pretty amazing.
Yep.
So what's my ob here? 3?
3.
2?
3.
Okay.
You're unlikely to pass.
Yeah, because it's going to double on the way out.
Yeah.
Well, I made it 2.
Yeah. If you want to roll that 6 and see how many times you can get that die to explode with fate.
It's not impossible, right?
Mhm.
Chain explosions. You can do it.
Roll 1d6, bang. I didn't. But
I mean, you got another success.
yeah. So mark 1 will for having tried to persuade. And now Timothy is definitely coming with me over to the.
So he heads over to the bar, and like picks up one bottle and it's like shaking a little bit in his hand. Actually, I think he picks up a bottle and it just slips out of his hand and just smashes on the floor.
Oh, right. Perfect.
And he's, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, and like
it's
looks
fine.
over at you.
Why don't you come over here where things are less breakable?
Right. I mean, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, I hope I'm communicating that this guy could very easily just be a spy and fucking with you. Because that's kind of... He's not. Because you nailed the circles roll. But I just really like the idea that, like, in the shitty, like, M. Night Shyamalan movie version of this campaign or something, the twist is that Timothy is a hyper-competent spy.
Yeah. Right. The end of it is Timothy with the silk cord wrapped around everyone's throat.
Yeah, or the end of Usual Suspects.
He over a course of 3 steps, he's now standing upright.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyways.
Spies like us. Excellent. All right. So, yeah, let's go through his desk. Let's go through Timothy's brother. And Timothy is a very, like, specific sounding name, so I imagine his entire family has.
It'll be something, yeah. I think he's got, like, the shitty name because he's the shitty son. Like, he's the 4th son.
Yeah, like 4th.
Right.
Was the name I would have expected, right?
They ran out of names.
Well, yeah, like, maybe Timothy in Dwarven means, like, vague disappointment, or just, like, really another one.
just another one, yeah.
Yeah.
Obligatory baby name.
Yeah. Or, like, is like the weird uncle that most of the family disavowed, but because of Dwarven cultures, you keep recycling names in the family.
Yeah, there's like that one ancestor. You have to cycle the names like every so often, right?
Or just
there's
if
like
you get down that low enough.
Yeah, that one ancestor from way back. That's like, okay, all right, we'll just use this kid. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So I mean, like, this guy's name is going to be like vaguely Nordic, right? Like, the princeling who was trying to marry at the 0th session was Einar, and so his name is going to be something else like that, right?
Right.
He might be like Eric with a K.
Okay. Yeah. What do I find immediately on his desk?
Thin film of dust over most of it. There's a drawer that gets opened and shut a lot, but in there is just like a Mickey, basically.
Like ears?
No. Is that not like a small bottle of booze?
Okay.
Do they not call those Mickeys in America?
Like a flask?
Yeah, it's like a flask, but like, Okay, apparently it is a uniquely Canadian booze measurement. It's not a 750. That's a lie.
That's a large.
It's a 375.
That's half of a large.
Yes.
That's medium.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's so yeah, there's a Mickey of vodka basically in this. And like it's shaped vaguely like a flask. It's just a small glass bottle. It's probably rye or something.
I mean, I sniff it to make sure that it smells winey or rye. Okay.
There's like some paperwork of like functionaries around, but being the heir means you have a lot more siblings to offload your work on.
Right.
So it seems like the guy mostly just came here to drink, pass out on his desk every so often. And honestly, like, the captain of the guard recognized people coming in here looking like they might be fucking for a reason.
Right.
That couch is fairly filthy.
Yes, it's a black leather couch. I don't know. So there's what I checked the drawer and then like the one above it and below it for like a hidden compartment just in case.
I kind of really want there to be something in there now. Yeah, you find one above. There's a satisfying little click. Timothy's eyes like go like wide, and you pull out a signet ring.
Okay. I'm assuming this. I turned to me. I'm assuming this is your family's.
Yes. It like holds out his hand for you to pass it to him. I can't let anybody have this.
Of course not.
It'd be devastating.
It'd be awful. I know which pocket it goes into.
Thank you for getting this. You've saved us a lot of trouble.
Well, I mean, I am a good friend.
You are. You're probably my best friend.
Oh, I try my best.
It shows. You're so tall and capable and
tall and like actually can do things.
Right.
Like murder. Wait, what? Pickpocket its own skill, because holy shit.
Yeah, everything is its own skill, Mike. All the things are their own skill.
Basically.
Why, Zach? Why can't I just have roll 2d6 plus hot?
Because it's not that kind of game.
Yeah,
Mike. It's the kind of game
you're
where
bad at things.
Yeah, it's the kind of game where you're bad at things. That's exactly what it is. It's the kind of game where you start really bad at things.
I don't see
and
a
you get better
pickpocket,
at
though.
things.
It goes philosophy, pilgrimage-wise pilot.
I just want to make sure it wasn't spelled like PU for pickpocket or something.
It goes philosophy, peahen.
Yeah.
These vowels, they trick me.
Is it legerdemain? HIJK. Nope. Lazy
not
bastard
stealth.
wise.
Bad Quell, help us. What is the pickpocket skill in?
Midwifery.
Well, okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go look at the you dirty kid
Yeah.
Turning wheel.
urchin.
It might just be stealthy.
Pockets.
Stealthy, streetwise.
It might be streetwise because stealthy is literally called out as like looking for things.
It's literally sneaking around, but it might
Sleight
be
of hand.
sleight of hand. There you go.
I love that. And it's entirely a matter of how familiar we are with this. But like every one of these sessions at some point turns into like 4 minutes of flipping.
Sleight of hand also allows a character to surreptitiously place objects on and remove objects from another person.
There you go.
Ob 1 is parlor tricks. Ob 2 is pick a pocket.
All I need is 4
to
successes
pick a
on.
pocket is against sleight of hand versus observation.
It's a opposed observation check. Yeah.
So I know his observation is.
Observation is based in perception. He absolutely
Sorry.
does not have observation.
His perception is 3.
Perception.
His perception is actually pretty decent. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not outstanding. He doesn't have
When you-
like full player character tiers of stats.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I'll have to find like an urchin to pickpocket repeatedly.
Well, so here's the other thing: is at some point we get to just like elide a number of months or weeks or whatever, during which time you practice a bunch of skills.
Which I have construction going on and like a vintage of wine I'm supposed to be making, so
Right.
time passes. It'll be very nice for me right now. Yeah.
Okay.
You just say you were working on that.
Well, yeah, and you practice pickpocketing for like 8 hours a day. And what the
Every
hell
day.
does that look like? Well, it's
Down
like
by the river.
right, in a van. Living on a steady supply of government cheese.
And government orphans. Oh, that's way sadder than government cheese.
Yep. Do we want to... So, I feel like this scene is coming to an end. You've noted that he has a bunch of keys and a signet ring.
There is one thing I'd like to do though.
Okay.
I would like to follow him back to wherever he's going and see if I can't figure out where he's going to put the signet ring.
Oh, okay. It's going in his office in the desk. Like, he will happily show you exactly where it's going.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure it's safe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, it's...
And the desk is locked, right? But one of the many keys.
He looks up at you and he's like, "That is a very good idea." And like,
Yeah, make sure. Good. Awesome. That was yeah, good. That was a good idea that I had and just told you about. Yes. All right. Thank you for. I hope you had. So
Andrew
I'm gonna go
thought of
check
it.
out-
Timothy didn't.
Yeah. I'm gonna go check out your brother's house next, and I'll let you know what's going on. In the meantime, don't let anyone know that you're on the case.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I can do that. And like you can see he's already like actually now he started taking the notes on like the functionally the minutes of like the last 10 minutes of your life.
Perfect.
Although I think he's referring to both of you by code names.
Awesome. I'll be Lady Bird.
Right.
All the time. He's referring to you by code names all the time now, forever.
Yeah. No, Timothy has a lot of keys.
Mhm.
Burn all his notes.
What is going on over here in Roll20 with all these?
I have a
8
whole
successes?
narration. I have a
Well,
whole narration. Don't worry.
Tag, you're it.
Well, Tag, we're taking a 5-minute break.
Yeah.
Wow.
I still have more rolls to go too.
God.
The numbers that are being put up. Can we see this on Twitch right
Yes.
now?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
The numbers being put up in our 20 window.
You don't know how stressed out I've been this past like 20 minutes just trying to decide how far I want to push my luck. Magnus is like empire building in the background right now.
I honestly love it.
Margaret is teaching a dwarf how to spy.
Right? And learning
And-
how to persuade.
Right, and Magnus has bought another hotel chain.
Yeah.
That reminds me. I need to look up if distilling is the same skill as winery.
Christ. If it isn't, I'm going to say it is. Because I think that is splitting hairs. Anyways.
Can we talk about not drawing attention and not being seen being two separate skills? Can we
Well-
talk about that though?
Because, I mean, one of them is, like, you're sneaking through darkest night, and the other one is you disappear into a crowd.
Brightest day.
Or, yeah, even brightest day if you're doing stealthy right. Like, stealthy
You
is
just do
not
darkest
being
night.
seen. Inconspicuous is
That's
not
very
being
good.
noticed.
It's a Green Lantern joke. We're good. Let's get some water.
Break time. We'll
Break
be back
time.
in a minute.
We'll be back in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Unless you also need a 5-minute break, at which point, take care of yourself. I ain't a cop. I'm almost upset. I'm a little sad I didn't actually get that line out of context, Mike.
I can repeat it if you want.
Well, so we saw your mouth move, but we were still muted in OBS. So unfortunately, nobody knows about your mouthful of expired Tic Tacs.
Okay, well, I'll just continue to mumble into the microphone then.
Okay. We're back from outer space, and just walked in to find you here with that look upon your face. I'm trapped. Someone help me.
You broke it out yourself. You're fine.
I did. Magnus rolled a buttload of capitalism while a skullduggery was occurring.
So I think when the camera switches over, we are wipe over to Magnus's office. I think it's him.
Oh, it's a smash cut. And Magnus looks at full on the camera, breaks the fourth wall, and says, bet you're wondering how we got here. And Magnus is literally in a vault full of gold coins.
Not yet. I'm still at the start of this, unfortunately. After all that, I'm still at the start. Yeah.
In a vault of gold coins, Scrooge McDuck style.
Okay, so this looks bad.
So I imagine it's actually Magnus and Vigo in his office, and there's aides running in and out, papers being handed off, cash being dropped off, and sitting back out again for another thing. But basically it's this flurry of activity where they're making fast purchases, trying to outmaneuver the whatever agents of the Silver Hearth are trying to do in town as well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's, so we can use merchant wise to dictate things about the world.
Yeah, you can say things that are true about merchants.
Okay.
And your ob is based on how outlandish that thing is.
Right.
I kind of want to create a stock market or something, sort of market situation where it's a time-based thing that's only open during certain hours of the day.
Okay.
I'm going to say, but it's for land, because land is very precious in this sort of mountainous area we're in.
Mm-hmm.
They have to restrict the purchase and transfer of land to only certain business hours, and it tends to be a pretty competitive business.
Let me find the skill page for Wises. Also, Zach, if you know where that lives.
The what?
Just Wises in general, so I have the obs.
Oh, yeah, so let me look that up. I believe it's actually in the...
It's very early, or it's 253 or 382. Wises say yes, blah, blah, blah. 382, I'm almost there. Neat. Naming the unknown. Wises appropriate. Wises can be used as link tests for circles. Oh, link tests. So you do the wise test, and then you can get the bonus on circles.
I doubt Magnus is going to have trouble with circle.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. So in the codex, the example given...
Thank you.
Is someone's asking a question about dragons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And where dragons come from. And the question that they are then asked in return is, do you want the common legend that is told around the hearths on stormy nights, that's Ob 2, or do you want the story dragons believe, that's Ob 8? That is the sum total of these are the obstacles provided.
Okay. I think this is probably Ob 4.
Okay.
Which is just on the absolute difficulty test. It's a risky act.
Can you fork anything into these kind of rolls, or?
I don't know if you can for Wises.
I don't know what I would, but
yeah.
I mean, Wises. You're just looking to establish something that exists. I don't think there's probably a whole lot more, unless you unless you built it with your own money. Otherwise, I don't think there's a whole lot there.
Okay, I'll just give it a shot then. No.
Okay.
So what does a failing a wise roll mean?
Well, so it is a thing that was true previously. The Silver Heath, the tax body, like the Silver Heath Consortium or Silver Hearth Consortium, has effectively just thought that that was an unnecessary restriction of the market. It's there are certain allotments, but effectively everything gets rubber stamped by the government so that it can be properly weighed, measured, taxed. And things have actually kind of slowed to a standstill since the brutal execution of the tax collector.
Okay, so I'm guessing that this activity is a bit more backroom activity, where Magnus is trying to exploit contacts to consolidate things that are being,
Yeah, Vigo says like it's definitely possible that you can move a bunch of titles and deeds around, but you're going to need like either you're going to need to be lucky and not get caught. You're going to need a fairly hefty bribe when you do get caught, or there's going to be like a reckoning day, because like eventually someone will notice in like the ledgers or whatever with something being off.
Okay. So yeah, so I think there's just this sort of this activity, this wheeling and dealing, or this sending his agents off to buy something here, get some dividends here, basically moving money around, trying to consolidate titles and things like that, or just basically to sort of improve his hand when it comes to dealing with land transactions in the kingdom.
Okay.
What we call ourselves. Principality. I have no idea what we are again.
Yeah, like a special administration zone previously.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, give it a couple weeks and you might be part of the province of Silverhearth or Upper Argent. Yeah.
So I can just run through the roles here real quick and just so most of his transactions are going great. He sets up a 2-point fund.
Yep.
Raises a bit of cash from that. What was this one? I don't remember. So anyways, it basically goes back and forth a little bit. I set up some good funds. I lost one of them.
Okay.
The taxes kind of got a little bit more unexpected on that one, and basically negated its function. But in the end, he's up.
Yeah.
So I currently have 2 cash on hand.
Okay.
And three different funds, a 1 and 2 2s.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, so in the end, I didn't scroll up high enough. That's why I couldn't tell it in the right order.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is we're gonna come in now into the scene where he's gonna start making the riskier transactions.
Sure.
That might get a little bit of heat if he doesn't, cut some of his expendable property. So
I love how all of those are routine too, so they don't count for experience.
Nothing counts. That's what I basically said. It's all up so I can start improving the experience on my resource checks. Apparently.
Yep. Well, so it's for 7 dice you need 5 to 7.
Yeah. Well, that's like the unmodified rolls, and all my rolls are modified like crazy. Yep. So the first thing I want to do is I want to set up a 3-point fund.
Okay. What does this fund represent?
So this is actually some prime, like new housing.
Okay.
Basically, it's gonna be housing where the Silverhearth is Hearth, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Silverhearth wants to set up like a new community for their maybe like the dignitaries or ambassadors or something like that. So basically,
sure.
Magnus wants to get in and grab it before the Silverhearth agents can get it, and then charge them out to the ass for this kind of stuff.
It's known as Little Hearth colloquially.
Little Hearth, yes. But I have to do it in a way that doesn't draw attention. So I basically not using my full resources just to make this a difficult check.
Okay.
And it's basically using one of my expendable funds, someone who I can just cut off if it gets too much attention. So this will be a 9 ob roll. No. It's 3, 6, 7. 7 ob.
Okay.
Sorry. And I'm rolling 9.
Yeah. So that gets you a difficult test.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I'm guessing it's going to fail, but... Okay.
Very
I can do this.
nearly.
I'm spending a fate point.
Awesome. Wow, you have 3 6s.
Yes. So roll 3d6. Bang, you said?
Yeah.
Oh,
One. I got one.
You
That's
got
all I
there.
needed.
oh, the 4 is successful.
Yes.
Yes, 4, 5, 6 success. So, it was close.
Mm-hmm.
I almost didn't have it, but Vigo came through with a connection at the last moment that got me the purchase. And pat on the back for him. Give him a raise.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a 3
that
die
was my-
fund of just like collecting rent from
Yeah.
Silverhearth. Awesome.
Over like rent, like double the normal rent they would paid if they wouldn't. If it would have been national land or something.
Yeah. Well, and that's what they were like. That's what would have happened if you had failed. Was you definitely get like, you get the thing, but like they're slashing and burning your margins along the way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you just need 3 more of those and 2 challenging.
Yeah, I know. Challenging is the scariest ones though, because if you fail a challenging resource roll by a huge margin, you're taxed
Yeah.
the difference basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, I don't think I can face challenging yet. So I mean, my original goal was to go for a 5 die fund
Jesus.
for another difficult, but I think I'm having a hard time pushing.
You're
this any
muted,
further.
Zach. A 5 die fund is like you're renting a castle out from under the kingdom. Like
yeah,
that's substantial.
Trying to figure out where my where my resources are. I'm pretty sure that's like more than my resources.
Well, so you can only use 1 fund on any given roll, I believe.
right. Yeah, but basically, I'm building up all these funds just to absorb taxes.
Yes.
If I fail these rolls, basically, I don't want to be taxed again.
Well, and the other thing you can do is if some of your friends are broke, you can give them funds.
Oh, okay.
So you can hand, yeah.
Gonna be super broke soon. Just the brokest.
Oh, you've got 2 patrons who are going to be competing for you.
Mhm.
Dude, it's gonna be amazing.
Okay, well, one's trying to, gut you, and one's trying to blow up your vineyard. It's up to you. Which one you want to go with?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
you've
think
you've
They're both
rented
compelling
like
offers.
I think we see like we get this view of I think here's what does it. Here's what Vigo does to push it over the edge. There's like this brutal round of negotiations between you and one of the people formerly under the Alancia Smith's employ. And it's like dragged out for a while. And Vigo he's like, wait a second. We shouldn't even be paying that much. No, that price is for a pristine building. This building, I know, was broken into and the resident abducted.
Do I like waltz into the scene when I hear that?
Just like sort of walk across the very back of the shot.
Well, it's like out of like through the back of the window or something. We just see like Margreta sneaking by. Dun, dun, dun,
Like
dun, dun, dun.
in the sneak stance.
Yeah.
The sneak stance.
But yeah, so you basically like are collecting rent from a bunch of the foreigners in the rich district.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. I guess.
Guess.
If that's your thing,
Yeah.
it's good for you.
What are the other ones? Just out of curiosity.
So let's see. So, I think one of the 2-point funds is probably just like the nice pasture land for the grapes.
Okay.
It's a
Oh, like
maybe
that external valley land you bought?
Yeah. It's probably like a vineyard. Or maybe it has some older vines on it or something. I don't know how much a 2-point would really be worth. I guess.
Well, so it's the income it generates for you.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think what you can buy with a 2-point resource normally. To kind of get an
Well,
idea
no.
of
So
that.
this is worth 2 dice of income functionally.
Right. Okay.
So it might be worth more on paper, but it's generating
see.
income.
Okay. I think the 1 dice I had that was kind of loosely tied into the cheese shop that I bought like
Mhm.
forever ago. And then the other two. What sounds like fun?
I mean, is it Vigo's business?
I believe you
Yeah,
own
I
a
guess
grapery
so.
too, don't you?
Well, I think you own the grapery.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
it's-
think you had your own.
Yeah, but there's like a satellite grapery. We got to start the franchise.
Yeah, like I said, that was the first 2 point
Yeah.
fund.
Okay.
That was the vineyard area.
Well, yeah, miscellaneous land holdings out in the valley,
Yeah.
including a
How
vineyard.
about, oh, I loosely discussed maybe joint ventures.
Mm-hmm. I love this version of Adam. Okay. Do you have anything else you'd like to do? This brutal slog of negotiation has ended in triumph.
So, I think Magnus feels like he's more on top of things than he used to be, and for the third time, I want to go back to this damn guild thing.
Okay.
I mean, if this doesn't work, he's just scrapping the whole idea, I think. But
Sure.
he's very full of himself right now after these last purchases. Let's see. Who do I want to try this time?
Hey, I found the circle seat section.
Yeah.
You can buy out the lady that's gonna ruin me.
I was thinking about going back to her, maybe saying that the vineyard I bought was maybe one that supplied her shop.
Oh, like with grapes, and then she does the back half of the operation.
I don't know. I don't know how much business she has. I know she just has the wine shop, but I don't know if it.
No, she's operating at a similar scale to you.
Okay.
She's so. My mental vision of her is she's Magnus with a 1,000-year lifespan,
Okay.
which should be terrifying.
Yeah, but she's just old and complacent now.
Right.
Well, maybe not even old, but she's just complacent.
She's easily like a couple hundred years old.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I do want to go back to her. Let's try to see if Magnus can do anything more this time, with maybe more stronger time around as opposed to camaraderie.
Okay. Yeah. You're definitely gonna get like dicked around a bit here. They're like, oh, don't worry, she'll be out in just a few minutes, and then like, oh, she's just taken a very urgent meeting, and like, you kind of just get like, jerked around for actually. You should roll circles to see whether or not she even has the time of day for you.
Okay. So what's the?
Because you've circled her up before.
I
she doesn't
have.
enemy circles. So it'll be whatever the ob was the first time you rolled her up -1.
I don't even remember what that was.
I'm just gonna keep scrolling until I get there.
Scroll up that chat log.
It was 4, so it's an ob of 3. So you should be able to do this.
And I had a +4 on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you had 7 dice.
Circles. Come on. Go back to here. I gotta scroll over hand to see my result. Geez, barely.
You got there. That's enough. So yeah, they jerk you around a bit, less than you were expecting. And she actually seems like not happy to see you, but in a good mood. You would have expected your presence to have soured her mood. Somewhat. Like, she was just giving you the stink eye and, like, kind of flaunting the fact that she had closed some kind of a deal with Endiso over you. But she actually, she seems to be in pretty decent spirits at this point. And she's, please, Mr. Luciano, have a seat. And she looks at her major domo and she's like, "Can you get Mr. Luciano a?" and then leaves room for you to.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking about my next move. Just you know, what are your house red kind of?
Okay, very good. I'll have one as well. Her major domo, this fairly slender half elf, like bows fairly deeply, and silently leaves the room. The door like clicks shut. So, Monsieur Maestro Luciano, to what do I owe the pleasure?
I've recently found myself coming to a lovely vineyard down in the Vale. Perhaps you've heard of it, and it's whatever.
Yeah.
Random highfalutin name. And I seem to hear that this particular vineyard supplies you with some of its best grapes. And I thought maybe we could just sit down and talk about, I don't know, maybe increased prices? Continue using that service?
And you see, like, the smile on her face just fades, but from one half of her face, so she's just smirking now. Is that so?
Indeed. I do believe so.
Maestro Luciano, I didn't expect you to be so forthright. The last time you came in here, you were a shell of whatever this is.
Well, I find that events in the kingdom necessitate
and
direct action these days.
The assistant comes in with 2 glasses of red at this point. Leaves them and then just fades into the scenery. Like, hasn't left the room again.
Okay. Yeah, I believe, as I was saying, that the times necessitate action, and I cannot just sit around and wait for the old guard to get off their asses and do something about this. And if it means buying every damn vineyard in that vale, I will do it. I will do what's necessary.
She leans in a little bit. Well, I must say, your comments about my ass notwithstanding, I'm almost enjoying this new Luciano. Do you think I've been doing nothing?
Well, aside from... Sorry, Indiso. Aside from playing around with some wine-addled vineyard's garden, I don't know what you've been doing.
Do you know what happened to their shipment? Their latest shipment of Fusiliere arms? Are you this? And, maybe you heard something around of just, the latest shipment of guns was just not a Fusiliere normal. And, she starts, intimating, she's in cahoots with a number of companies. She's not that dissimilar to what you're doing. And maybe she mentions a couple times, 1 or 2 of those, the failed resources test. She beat you to that punch. Right. It's not that you ran out of cash, it's that someone got in under the wire. So yeah, she hasn't been completely fallow, she just hasn't been working with you.
That's fine. And that's good. Forgive me. Perhaps I've gotten off on the wrong foot, and I had the wrong impression of you all along.
Oh, don't apologize now. You were doing so well.
But I still think that this hodgepodge approach that we merchants have been taking is not enough. It's still the Silver Hearth is still here. They're still increasing their presence. Gun shipments or not, they will soon have everything, and we will be nothing but commoners peddling our wares on their what do we call it again?
Cannonade.
Yeah, on the cannonade. Yeah.
I feel like we're coming up to something fairly involved.
Yes.
Just mechanically. Zach, do you know what page it's on? Oh, I just found it.
I'm happy to have been of help.
So, this is a thing that can go weird. And we can put a pin in this if we want to save it for a future session. And maybe you steal Mike's book in the meantime. Because there's a thing in Burning Wheel called a Duel of Wits.
Yes.
And a Duel of Wits is it's functionally the same rules as a fight, but you're using conversation at each other. Each of you stick functionally like a thesis statement at the start, and it's, if I win, I get this. Each of you have a body of argument, which is functionally your like hit points. And then there's different moves, and different moves block certain moves, and different moves do other things to other things. But functionally, you deal damage according to skills. You can block some of the damage that's coming in. First person to 0 loses, but the lower the winner's body of argument is, the more concessions they have to give. The other thing about a Duel of Wits is the statements are binding. So if you enter into a Duel of Wits, what I'm imagining here is there's a Duel of Wits between you and her as to who's running the Merchants Guild.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's going to be her, like, functionally just selling them shitty equipment and, like, making everything just slightly gross. Your camera's not at all focused on that, Zach.
I'm noticing that. I'm trying very hard.
Anyways, what's likely to happen is there's like an accord as to who's actually in control, and that balance of power shifts and mutates, but so the rules actually state, and I kind of like this a lot. Players or a player and the GM come to a significant disagreement in the game. The GM stops play and asks the players if they wish to result with the Duel of Wits. They can agree, they can walk away from the argument in disgust, or simply draw swords and skip to a fight. So players each state their case. What's the problem and why? Keep it short. Write out your statement of purpose. Once the case is stated, you figure out your body of argument, and so it's your will exponent plus some talking skill that you have. So yours is probably persuasion, and so you'll roll the persuasion dice. After the body of argument has been established, agree to the terms. Each player states what conditions they get if they win, and what they'll do if they lose. And then we go through that. There's actually a great bit of pageantry and theater where you lay down cards. So the cards come in like face down. You put down 3 of them. And then both of the first cards are revealed at the same time, and you resolve the effects. But yeah, it's involved. You probably want to read through the rulebook. I'll see if I can find a YouTube video where this is explained by someone who's done it before. But I feel like that's a thing that we're coming up to, and I don't know if we're mechanically prepared at this juncture.
Sure.
So I mean,
fine.
like,
go ahead on the table.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, like it's, you've definitely convinced her that you're at the very least a worthy adversary. And an adversary that you can turn to your team or that you can get in line behind is probably better than someone who's worthy and working against you. So, yeah, let's put a pin in this. Let's do a Duel of Wits in the future for control of this Merchants Guild. But I think, like, the two of you leave this meeting, however we get there. The two of you leave this meeting with, like, at least she has some respect for you that she didn't before, and an appreciation of the fact that the two of you have been pursuing fairly common goals from different angles.
Sure.
If that seems fair. Is there anything else you want to do in this conversation at that point?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. So, sorry for the damage I just did to the fourth wall. But we can get some spackle or drywall in here. She says we should continue. I think someone is going to interrupt. It's going to be that person from the who's basically faded into the scenery says, "Madam, I'm sorry. You're needed elsewhere at this moment." She's going to bid you farewell and say we should continue this later.
You have some grapery acquisition paperwork for you to sign.
Or not even that. It's functionally something she's not willing to discuss in front of you.
Sure.
But yeah, you've made significant progress on this thing, and I don't want to take that away from you. It's just, I feel there's a neat thing that we can do, and we just can't do it yet.
Sure. Sounds like fun.
It's honestly kind of neat, and I'm probably going to be an anxious mess when it happens, and I love looking forward to that.
Should be fun. Should be a lot of fun.
You should be glad you're not going up against Zach.
I'm so convincing.
No, you just have Satan's own dice.
But here's the thing.
Satan's own dice.
Through...
Sorry. Go
Up to you.
No, well, Satan's own dice that regularly betray me.
Sure.
At
Satan's dice. What did you expect? It's right there in the name.
So is there an Indiso scene here? Is there a Margreta scene here? Is there another Magnus scene? Because I feel like we've done a bit of you lately, but we also just cut you short, so I don't want to leave you hanging.
I don't know. Sort of gambling more. I don't know if I have. I really want to see where this goes, and I don't want to rush anything too after that. I could go pick on some other smaller businesses for the fun of it. I mean, that seems like I'm gonna go out hunting
for sport. Yeah.
So for sport, and I'm just gonna take out some new shoemaker or cobbler that set up shop. Got above his station a little too much.
Always be capitalism.
I love the idea. I love the idea of your changing your I'm writing my memoir instinct to I'm writing my memoir with the ink that I've acquired from businesses I bought out and shuttered.
Mm-hmm. And the black ink from their ledgers.
Yeah.
Their black ink runs red.
It might also be where they're this competing business from Silverhearth opened up, so I'll prop up the business of the local.
Oh, and then I can make the local a total shitbag. I like it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's totally a small struggling business on the Cannonade. You said you're a general store, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel oh, that's what it is. Okay. There's definitely a local cobbler. And yeah, the family's been in the cobbling business for generations. You knew this person's father. They were you're probably wearing some of their shoes right now. But their eldest son is just a bit of a fuck up. Father passed away last winter. It happens. They were old. Mother had been gone for a couple years before that, possibly died in childbirth, sort of thing. But this fuck up son inherited the business, and has continued to be a fuck up son, but has a 5 generations strong name, probably a couple kids on the way. So there might be hope here, but there's some boots department store that has opened up across the way and is just undercutting the shit out of them. I feel like that's a thing that could happen on the Cannonade.
Yeah.
So do we want to do that scene, or do we want to hop over to someone else?
If someone else has something they want to do right now.
Trying to think. I mean, we can, for real quick, we can shoot over to Anissa and be like, watch him consult with an architect, and then like start supervising wine production, because I need to get some new vintages. But that's about. Or I could have a dream. I guess that's the other thing that I do.
Ooh.
I mean, let's see the vintner, because it's been some time. So the architect is, so you need these things. It's sort of confirming some of your plans, and Bella has embellished them.
Okay.
In a few places.
Okay.
One of the things that she seems to be real keen on is like a windmill. And that just looks a bit gauche. I don't know how that fits with your rustic aesthetic, but she's convinced that using like the mechanical power of this windmill, you can actually like increase your production, and you won't need so many people around.
An entire orc.
Well, and that also means like that's fewer arms to get caught in all these moving gears over here.
It's true, right? Yeah, no, I will be like looking over the architect's plans, paying special attention to like numerology and the various angle line sections. For how many cubits of blah 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 are.
So the architect is, you could save a lot of space if you, and just like in pencil, but just like hacks off an entire corner of one of the buildings, and like it would save you. Like literally cutting this corner would save you a bunch of time and effort.
No. This building must be built to the it's the golden ratio.
Let's
what's
see the symbology here.
Is symbology roll great? I'm a Viking at symbology.
It's mostly just like how poorly you understand the symbols that you're carving into the countryside.
Yes. What's my base obstacle here, Coach?
That's what I'm looking up now. I should bookmark more pages in here. Sorcery.
I'm definitely like holding forth though.
Yep.
As though this is clearly a thing that I know and should be respected.
It was common symbols to do the stars before. I think this is probably common religious symbols, so up 2.
Okay. This is theoretically possible.
Right. I want to give you hope.
Boom.
Nice.
No, it's not. It's not actually possible.
And it's not a 6. You got a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Only
so I imagine
a 4, 5, a 6, and a 6.
Imagine I like do it backwards. Like it's just like I have like just literally the wrong numbers in the ratio. Or like I'm it's not the golden ratio that I'm going for. It's like the adamantium ratio, or what, the orichalcum ratio.
There you go.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's something here, and you're sure it's important and powerful. And because it's important and powerful, it must be the sort of thing you want to include. And it's just, you aren't fully aware of all of the nuance of a thing, but that's fine. It's important and powerful.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So no, I'm definitely gonna require the extra, take away the extra space and require like the extra construction costs to build this weirdly lopsided building to the proper ratios. Going to make sure that like the windmill isn't sitting on the wrong ley line or to the property. I'm gonna be changing the entire distribution of the grape vines such that it is radiating out from a central point as is proper. All these things are going down.
Yeah.
We were harvesting the last of the non-magical grapes, and we're creating some sort of wine from those.
Okay.
Quail is overseeing that process, so they are much more comfortable with that than all of the silliness that's happening in the background.
Sure.
So yeah, I'll argue with no. You have to the ratios are very important. We need this windmill. I understand, but it can't be at the top of the hill. It has to be about halfway down over there, and I'll point like inside the copse of trees or whatever. Some grapefruit and like
Yeah.
it has to be protected inside that zone. Otherwise, the energies will tear it apart. It's hard to explain.
And Bella's like looking at you with equal amounts of like confusion and interest. Because like she knows that's not how physics, but she doesn't really know how magic.
Exactly. I'm the magic man.
Right. Try to understand.
So yeah, I'm going to sell her on that. I will also be taking some of her ideas into account. I imagine she has like boilers and things that she wants to put inside the new construction.
Right.
But I'm going to make sure that like the ratios and materials are all.
She's like, but the output of this is going to be 2 to 1, but you've got it set up at 1 to 2, and that's just inefficient. Look at all this wasted space. And no, child.
But if we want to properly align the spirits of the grapes, the rotation needs to be here so that the particles line up properly. Like we're gonna go like the next layer of physics below the layer of physics she's used to.
Right.
The metaphysics here. We are only using the grape particles with the proper spin and charm.
Charm is a type of quark, goddammit.
Yeah. So strange.
Yep.
Strange. This is gonna be a very strange, charming wine.
Oh, I'm just bad at the alphabet still. Okay. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. So, we'll. I imagine we bicker over not bicker. I imagine we have like disagreements and.
Yeah, she doesn't put up too much of a fight once you start like putting a metaphysical foot down. She just knows what she knows and like is going to like prosecute that case essentially. But once you start introducing magical mumbo jumbo, then she's quickly like, well, that's a very good point. I don't know a damn thing about that.
I think we could also find a compromise where there's like my weird mystical hut, and then like here's the very by the book distillery that's like in the less magically active place.
Sure.
Giant scare quotes around apples. Right. Where she is like laying out the plans for the mostly automated distillery or whatever down here, where we feed grape leavings in one side and booze comes out the other.
Grape leavings.
That's what grappa is. It's just like the rest of the grape.
I'm not arguing with that.
It's a biofuel. Yeah, we're gonna be making grape vodka essentially.
Okay, this feels so. The architect says, "Okay, and you can afford all this, right?" And has done like some tallying. I imagine like there's a brief like as you look at the total.
Okay, probably.
But you tell me.
It's a fairly extensive restructure.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the list of what things cost. I found the maintenance side of things.
Yeah, lifestyle maintenance obstacle stuff.
Here we go. Wow, shit gets expensive.
Yeah. Well, they want to make it. They want to make those hard resources tests.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like industrial equipment, which this kind of sounds like if you're getting a distillery worth of kit. So yeah, says the construction, like I can't handle the machinery, like that you'll have to talk to someone else. But the construction, the new buildings, that'll run you, and then and just like ob 6.
Top 6, you say?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing I have patrons then.
Right. So how patronizing is Bella to you?
I don't know.
Like, is she shouldering the burden for this, or is she just helping you out with some money?
Well, I have resources 4.
Sure.
Which is not nothing.
Right.
But it's not...
It's not bad.
It's not bad, but it's also not enough to do this flat out.
Mm-hmm.
So probably a significant amount.
Okay.
If she is the sole patron, which I think at this point she is, since my partner in crime has run off and taken his money with him.
And your elf lady friend hasn't dropped by with paperwork yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it looks like we will be needing to finance some of this, and I'll shoot her a look.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
So I mean, yeah. How much say in this operation does she have? Because it's going to be proportionate to how much she helps you.
I think she's probably going to have more than I'm comfortable with, essentially, at this point, right?
Sure.
Like, she's got buy-in. As long as I get to make, like, my, like, weird sacred wines or whatever sort of on the side.
Then you're good.
That's a thing.
Yeah, so she hand waves and she's like, "Don't worry, I can." I'm covering much of it. So she'll be covering the first 4 of the 6 resource costs for this.
So I gotta make it to 2.
Yeah. I don't think she needs to roll for that.
Alright.
You have that cash die.
I do have that cash die. I can also spin Persona, right, if I need to?
I think. Yeah, you can spend Persona on resources, because you gray shade them by having sunk a bunch of stuff into them.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and spend 1 Persona point on it.
Okay.
And I'll spend my cash.
Dang. Bleeding a lot of resources out of you.
And my base obstacle is 2, essentially, right?
Yes. Not essentially, it just is.
Oh,
Wow!
look at all those 2s.
Fucker.
0.
You didn't roll above a 2 on 6 dice.
That's a sign.
Yes.
I was going for 2.
Yep.
That is clearly... I just clearly had a moment, right? Where I'm just like... Now I'm like, no, this is not the plan. We have a new plan.
So are you pulling out?
I don't know if I'm...
Okay.
I don't know if I'm pulling out so much as like... So clearly this just isn't happening right now, right?
Well,
So the thing is, so there's something called the gift of kindness, which basically gets your intent even if you're taxed. You'll so basically be taxed and you get what you want.
Yeah.
So basically, this is also, you can also refuse the gift and you're only taxed for 1 dice. So if he, if this was a worse penalty and he offered you the kindness, you could reduce the penalty by pulling out.
Yeah. So, yeah, you'll move a bunch of money around. It's going to mean, like, yeah, your resources will be taxed by doing this. It's going to be expensive. To do this, you're going to probably want to find some form of income, some kind of, like, shot in the arm for your business quickly.
So I imagine, like, in Diesel's head, he knows he doesn't have the resources to do this.
Yeah.
Right now. Just straight up doesn't.
Well, and, like, yeah.
But, like, in his head... So he's like about to back out, like he has a moment of doubt, right? And then like out of the corner of his eye, he sees like the 2 goats, and one of them is eating grapes, and the other one is like chewing on a bird or something, and he interprets this as like, you need to stay the course, better days are ahead, you could be that bird-eating goat. Sign the thing and move forward with it. And so he does, even though it's a terrible idea.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you sign the thing. The architect says, "Excellent, very good. I'll get this paperwork over to Madam Woodsorrow, and we'll be concluded." And yeah, you're taxed for 2 resources now, which sucks for you.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
On the upside, you do have a buffer on the maintaining your lifestyle that's coming up.
I do.
And that was a routine test.
Yeah. Well,
So the tax is
resources?
only 1. Right?
Do resource? Well,
Failed by
okay,
2.
It doesn't matter. So routines
'cause
are
it's
always
routine?
1 tie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
that's
routine 1, difficult 2 challenges the difference.
Okay.
That's bad. Does resources improve on failed tests?
I believe so. I'll
Yeah,
double
you
check.
It's like any other skill.
There's some
Was
that
that-
only improve on successes.
Oh.
Yes,
well,
there are
that'd be
some that don't care if you tried and failed. They're like,
That might actually be resources.
I think resources is one of them that doesn't care.
Only successful resources tests count towards advancement.
good.
Boom.
Interesting.
There you go. You
So I
don't
actually have to
that test.
succeed on a 2 challenging to
Yes.
resources. That's bloody ridiculous.
That is what your persona and fate and deeds points are for. If you ever get them, that's what your art is for. Deeds are hard to come by. That's why, like, as soon as when Andrew like dangled a deeds point out, completely new direction for the character, because like deeds points are a thing you might get once a campaign.
Well, so here's the other thing. I don't think I dangled a deeds point out and drew you in that direction. You were starting to veer in that direction, and I said this is how deeds points happen.
And the next result was gimme.
Right.
Exactly, because they're so good, and like in order to grade shade, you have to spend a deeds point. Like you just have to spend a deeds point on something.
What grade shading does mechanically. So you see how next to all of your dice there's a B? If that was a G, then you start succeeding on 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s.
And then if you make it to white shade,
Then it's 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s.
but that's literally like you have a divine ability in that skill, essentially.
Gray shade is already superhuman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm aiming for Grave Vintner at some point.
So I think there's one last thing in here. Because you mentioned there were like magical grapes and you're looking for all these signs. Are you doing anything else? Like, are you trying to create the signs as much as read them, or?
I think, yeah. I mean, I think that I have tried to take to my best knowledge. We're like restructuring the vineyard around my like weird fever dreams, and like I've given Quail like very specific instructions
Sure.
as to like time of day and directionality of how the grapes should be processed, right? Only stomp to the north during this period, which I'm sure Quail is a huge fan of.
Yeah, Quail loves it when you slow him down.
Yeah. And so, like, yeah, I've been doing that, and I'm like trying to apply what I think I know or hope to know to this, to the batch that we're just starting now, right? With the last of the old, mundane, inferior grapes that are not going to benefit from my new energy collecting layout.
So I have a hard bargain for you.
Oh, great.
So setting all that up,
Mm-hmm.
would you like that to be a symbology test? Or do you want to open sorcery?
Oh, Jesus.
Because you can know sorcery without having gifted. You just can't cast magic.
What does sorcery do without gifted?
It's reading and understanding spells and creating them on your own. And then gifted is like putting them into practice. So sorcery without gifted is functionally magic-wise.
All right, I'll take it. We will make that sorcery roll.
Awesome.
Sorcery is perception-based, yes?
I was just looking at it. And because I'm smart, I closed the book. It is perception-based.
Okay. All right, I will make that roll and fails.
Right. Right. Failing is an important part of learning.
Oh, what's my obstacle?
I think it's 3.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be great. Oh, boom. Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely power in how you've aligned your grapes, what's happening to, with, and around them. And you can tell because the goats seem friskier and like they've got a healthier, darker sheen to their coat. It's great.
Yeah.
Bloodier sheen.
I was going to say, it's all those birds they've been eating.
Right. Right.
By fats and lipids. Great. No, I'm super glad that I have instructed Quail in these matters. This seems like it's definitely going to pay off for me here.
You're a very good sport, Zachary.
No, my poor wine. Poor wine.
You just wanted to be a good vintner.
I did want him to be a good vintner.
Vintonist? The Vintonist.
Yeah, so I would definitely be like making sure that my instructions were followed after I finished the conversation here. I would sort of walk over and I'm sure that my patron is going to have more to say about like where the machinery goes, all that stuff, and like the big the big distillery workshop that we're clearly building now.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm gonna be like making sure there's like cutouts in the walls so that the energy can properly flow through and into the grapery proper, and maybe like a glass ceiling so that the energy from the sun can get in, and there's gonna be crystal hangings all over her equipment and stuff. It's gonna be great.
Do you need a Betamax doctor or Betazoid doctor?
I'm sure we will have one eventually.
God.
These poor orcs.
So we've got probably like 10 minutes before we have to start thinking of end of session stuff. So do we want to do a quick jaunt around a dwarf's house, Mike?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you come upon the house. It's, still a block or so away. And there's someone wearing the tabard, sword on one hip, pistol on the other. Standing.
Is your pistol nicer than mine?
How nice is your pistol?
Shitty.
Probably not.
Okay. You may have just saved this person's life.
Assume no. My goal is to open all the skills and never learn any of them. Good. Yeah. But standing by the door, looking vaguely imposing and moderately on guard.
On guard. Okay. What is Margaret do in this? She is I'm gonna go straight up to the person and like smile.
Okay.
And like so so what are my big skills are stealthy.
Yep.
Or you know what? We're gonna start off stealthy, and we're gonna lie. Right, that was my character concept was try to do something stealthily, lie my ass off if I get caught with my aura of innocence, and then kill them if I have to. So that's what I'll do. So I'm going to try to.
It's a good flowchart.
Sneak.
Yep.
Yeah, and then it all ends in chaos and death. I'm going to try to avoid the gaze of the guard. with my stealthiness because it's dark out because it's nighttime.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're heading in like a side door or something because she's posted by the front door? And I mean 4 feet away, like leaning against the building.
No, that's cool. Yeah. I'll definitely go through the side or like a window. I don't want to be on the roof quite yet because I don't think Margaret has acrobatics because that's going to be a skill in this game.
It almost certainly is.
I don't think it's called acrobatics, but yeah.
It's like tumbling, probably.
Yeah.
It's like second story person.
No, well, there's different skills for second and third story.
Yeah, you're second story-wise. Okay.
That is an amazing... Like, second story-wise is actually...
It's a good wise.
Yeah.
Useful for bards and for thieves. Rimshot.
Tunnel-wise. But no
I
tumbling.
don't see any tumbling. I'm going to go back to the old trick of looking through...
Anyways.
You continue on.
Okay, so, I'm going to... well, into stealth. That was this thing I don't quite understand about this book. As nicely as it's laid out...
Mm-hmm. Sorry, what are you looking for?
All the sorts of things like I wish that what I can roll into.
Well, so I don't think anything forks into stealthy on it like by default. Cause, we looked at that last session.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember things.
You can start making arguments for things. So like it's dark out. So I mean
right,
that's going to be one dive advantage because it's dark out.
If I took like a round observing them, would it give me a die?
So you can do so you can roll observation, and it's a link test. So yeah, you say I'm going to do this thing to set myself up for future success.
I'm doing this thing to set myself for future success.
Cool. So if you roll the thing and you meet the threshold, you don't add or subtract any dice. If you fail the roll, then you have one extra ob that you have to overcome. If you succeed, then you get your degrees of success in helping dice. So if you want to observe the guard and figure out like his patterns or something, that honestly might just be perception.
Yeah, it says observation is for
combating stealthy.
Spot the hidden.
Yeah.
Characters, traps, ghosts, etc.
Yeah.
So
unless I think perception.
Yeah. So I will find the perception. Click one of the pips. I don't think I mod anything into it, right?
No. I don't know what he's doing. I think this is probably like an let's say ob 3 perception test. It's not very difficult.
I succeed.
Congrats. So yeah, you don't lose anything, but you also won't get anything.
Because it didn't beat the base
right.
ob?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is how a link test works. But
I would get to mark perception, except it was routine, so I did not.
Yeah. But yeah, he's following, like, you may have trained guards in doing this exact thing. You don't leave too many openings, at least none that you're aware of. He's not distracted. He's actually fairly attentive. Yeah, a side entrance, a window is probably the way in here.
Okay.
So yeah, it's stealthy to sneak in. We've got one extra die because it's dark out. Do you want to make any additional arguments?
Nope.
Okay.
That sounds good to me. Did I already add that die? Nope, I did not. Okay. 1, 2, 2, 2. Nope, that's not right. What's the ob? I accidentally rolled versus ob 1, so.
Oh, okay. The ob is going to be his observation, which is 3d6 greater than 4. 2 successes. Ties.
Well, 1 second, I'm going to roll 1d6, so.
There you go.
Because I had a 6 in there, so I got 3. Okay.
Oh, so you spent a fate?
Wait, do I need to beat it or meet it?
Tie goes to the defender, and he's defending.
So I will spend a fate.
Okay.
For a routine stealthy roll. Click. Okay. So, yeah, I subtly unlatch a window or the shutters, and I slip inside.
Yep. Yeah, and it's a kind of a mess in here. I don't know that you notice, like, there's no blood, but there's definitely signs of a struggle. I don't know that you know how long it's been, other than that he didn't show up for dinner last night. The guards posted out front looks pretty bored, and there's signs of investigation in here, but it seems to have run its course.
Yeah.
It's actually a remarkably well decorated place. Another really well stocked bar, like comfortable cushions, another filthy couch in the room that you've sort of entered through the window of. And there's signs of like other people who've been here, but so far as you can tell right now, this house is empty. Other than you.
I did that thing where I look for the most used area and then attempt to spot hidden goodies.
Okay.
For lack of a better phraseology.
Sure. I think that's observation. Is observation is spotting hidden things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like the non-hidden stuff is already going to have been picked over.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Let's see observation. It's definitely around the bar. There's like a fairly thick layer of dust on most of the books on the bookshelf. This guy's just kind of a slob overall. Hidden goodies wise is a very good wise. But yeah, let's see what observation gets you.
All right, obstacle.
That's a good question. Let's see how stealthy this nerd was hiding things. 3d6 greater than 4. He's not very good at hiding stuff. He has 1 success.
Which is good because I only got 1.
Mm-hmm.
But that's clearly better than literally everyone else.
One more time, Zach.
The defender wins that, right?
That's also still better than literally everyone else who came looking, right?
Well, so I mean, you find a thing. You find what's it gonna be? I think it's like, oh, that's just mean. There's a small functionally just like note stuck on the underside, and you recognize it in an instant because you've left them previously for other people. It's a ransom note, and sort of the SOP for leaving it is person gets kidnapped, guard come in to investigate, one of them is on the take and like leaves this note behind for the family to come find. And yeah, it's a ransom note basically saying if you want your heir back, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, this much money, this many goods, guns, gunpowder. It's actually fairly light on the money. It's more about the guns, the gunpowder, the nitra, the saltpeter, and yeah, there's just something about it that feels off to you. Like normally you'd get money or like political favors, or you'd use this as like leverage for extortion.
I mean, I've got extortion. Could I roll some sort of skill into deciphering what's missing?
Oh, I mean, like it's the money is missing, basically.
Okay.
Like there's not enough money here. They're looking for physical, tangible goods.
All right, I'm gonna find some more. Yeah, so I'm gonna take the note. Like I'm not gonna leave it here because worst case scenario they kill the.
Sure.
Okay, whatever.
Right.
And yeah, although depriving them of guns would be decent, but an arrow is better. So I'll take the note. And like I guess that's my best. You know, like, do I have? So, forgery.
Mm-hmm.
I have foraging, which is not the same thing at all.
Correct. No. What you have is surviving in the woods.
Right.
Which is
But
interesting.
I want to believe that foraging is falsehood.
It's going to be write and read, and you can probably almost certainly fork falsehood in there.
I believe
No,
there's
forging is actually its
forgeries.
own skill.
Okay.
Forgery is its own skill.
no.
Yeah.
That's foraging again.
Yep.
I just misread it multiple
Okay.
times.
I'm pretty sure it's under write.
No, forgery is its own skill. Shit.
Okay.
I just looked at it as I was looking. I was looking for an acrobatics skill and I couldn't find one, but I definitely remember seeing forgery at the very top of page 274.
And like, I'm never gonna have seen this person's handwriting.
I mean, it's on a thing in front of you.
Okay, I'm going to attempt.
Or who do you mean?
Just trace those words, Mike.
I'm going to attempt to write a suicide note for this guy.
Okay. Sure.
Can you just like leave editor's marks on the ransom note to turn it into a suicide note?
Okay, write is the commanding skill, blah, 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 without the benefit of the ability to read. Write is copy skill. Character with read may transcribe his thoughts onto paper in reasonably coherent chunks. Cool. What is the message of your suicide note?
It's just goodbye, cruel world.
Awesome.
Like, I'm not gonna try to forge a signature.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna make the shittiest of forgery suicide notes guy, and like I'll figure out the rest of it as I go. But I'm gonna open up a new skill.
You've got right.
Yeah, but I don't have forgery.
Okay. If you want to just write a note, I'm like, it's going to be less convincing than the forgery.
But I think I'd rather have a failed forgery.
Okay.
Because it's not like they're going to be able to trace it back to me, he says, giving information to
Right.
Andrew.
Yes.
Because failed rolls can mean a lot of things in this game, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Also, do you know Dwarven? Wouldn't this guy's suicide note be in Dwarf?
It would probably be in Dwarven.
I mean, that just raises more skills for me to open. Dwarven-wise.
Languages are skills, I want to say.
Yeah, that'd be
Dwarven rune script is a literary one.
Yep. But let's do the forgery roll.
Okay.
Because I think I know how it goes wrong.
Okay. How does it go wrong?
It's in common?
No. I mean, I think I know how it goes wrong, but let's see the dice first.
Okay, so I lost forgery already. Yeah, ditch digging is its own skill, guys.
Mm-hmm. There's like a backbreaking labor trait.
/ agi.
Okay, there you go.
So is it custom?
Possibly.
There's a way
here,
of doing.
click the thing. This?
Oh, the X thing. Yeah, I gotcha. I like how you turned it on and off repeatedly. That was great.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm opening up forgery, and the note's going
Holy
to say
shit.
What?
You're gonna be a god at forgery when you finish it, though.
Yeah.
This character's designed for this nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of in your wheelhouse. Yeah, they're designed for this nonsense. Caught on to any of it. So...
I'm very bad at creating a character's skills.
Okay.
The mic didn't cut out. I just didn't know what the word was.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to forge. I can't fork anything in because I'm fresh at this.
Right.
My base obstacle is probably a 3, right?
I don't think it's even that high. I think it was like a 2, honestly.
Oh, wait, it's 1. Because I'm not trying to forge mimic handwriting, and that's it. I'm not even forging a signature.
Sure.
Perfectly duplicating handwriting is an obs 6.
Groom, runner, Connor, later, cryptography. Do you have cryptography yet, Mike? You should open cryptography.
Open
Do I need to open cryptography?
No.
Open? No. No.
Gods.
Don't do it, Mike.
So mimic document style is ob 1. Handwriting is 2. Forged signature is 3. Okay.
Oh, I see. I misread that. So yeah, I'm mimic handwriting, so it'll be ob 2.
Okay.
So I have a non-zero chance of succeeding in it. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's 6 on 4 when you roll.
It's going to double.
Oh,
Right? Yeah.
and I don't
You
get
have
to explode
2
6s.
sixes.
Yep.
I don't get to explode 6s, do I?
If you spend a fate, you can.
Spend a fate
Well,
point.
fuck yeah. What was it? How many sixes did I get in there?
2.
2.
2d6 bang. Well, that's not even close.
Not quite.
Ah,
That's a
so
5.
4.
It's 4 successes.
You
Yeah.
win.
You got it.
You do the thing.
All right.
You did the thing, Mike.
All right, and I'm going to leave it like under the desk, but not like all the way under the desk. So the next person who comes in will find it, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So like in a semi-obvious spot, like, oh, how could they have missed that? Oh, it was kicked under the desk. Clearly.
Do you want that fate point to apply to your perception or to your agility?
What do you mean? Why?
So when you spend Artha, it goes into whatever you rolled. When you spend enough of it, and it's roughly 8 trillion fate and like 5 persona and 1 deeds point, that's when you grade shade something. So I mean, it
Yeah.
functionally probably won't matter, but there's
Since you're, yeah. Since you're unlocking something right now that you can't actually put it in that skill,
yeah.
so you put it in the attribute that governs that skill instead.
Yeah.
Which in your case is either perception for forgery is perception or agility.
Yeah.
Agility.
Okay. So yeah, that's what the F, the P, and the D are next to everything you can roll. Is
Wow,
for
okay.
recording your fate, your persona, and your deeds points that you've sunk
So I
into
haven't
it.
been recording that at all.
That's okay. It should be fairly easy to go back up through our.
Yeah.
Also, I think Andrew has done it for me
I just put the one into forgery.
because there's also one into stealthery.
Yep.
I think
Okay,
today's only like the first day we really started using Fate for less heavily.
That too.
I feel like I faded something else earlier though.
Yeah, quite possibly. We can go back and check.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know that is valuable or useful,
Well,
but
so
it's going to be.
You've planted a forged suicide note. You slide it under the desk, turn around, and that's when you notice that the guard who is standing outside is inside.
Cool.
He's like, hands are up. He says, I think I know who you are. I think I don't want any trouble. I have an idea of what you just did, but I know someone you want to talk to.
Okay. I mean, I am just a pretty face, but I'm more than happy to talk.
Then you should talk to my benefactor. And then
Lovely.
then we fade out.
Do I stab him in the chest twice? The problem is that always Boolean true. It's just capital TRU return true.
It's the XKCD return a random number. It's int equals 4.
Yeah.
Return int. All right, let's do the end of session things. So, Indiso, since you're the first character sheet I opened, you're the first one to.
Awesome. I did not succeed in I did not even address, barely, my first belief, because I'm just starting the process for creating a new vintage. So that's not happening yet.
Yeah, we didn't throw dice.
Yep. I will need material support for my studies. I will attract means to be my patrons. That happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to call that persona.
Mm-hmm.
And then rewrite that. My dreams have power. I must learn to better interpret them. I will construct a sanctum for my studies. In process.
Yep, you get your fate for that.
Not finished. I will accept a drink if offered. Inquire if none is. That did come up. I will look for occult signs in all things. That definitely came up.
That got you into trouble.
I think there's definitely an argument that got me into trouble for sure.
Yeah.
And I will always follow my dreams. I don't really have a new dream to follow at this point, so.
No, I'll give you one in a couple, like probably next session.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. I think that's me.
Did any of your traits get you in trouble?
Oh, patient, off-kilter, prideful, violent, traditionalist, extremely respectful of one's betters. I feel like I was very...
Oh, wait a second. That totally should have come up with talking with the elf lady.
It did. I was very respectful with her.
Okay.
Very respectful with her to the point where, like, I essentially came really close to accepting a buyout of my property if she actually wanted to. So I think there's definitely an argument there
I was gonna say off kilter probably got you in trouble because you
You
were
think
just
so?
really fucking weird the entire time.
I was deeply weird. Yes, deeply weird through that whole scene. Okay, I'll take the off kilter point for sure.
Okay.
So that gives me for the night totals is 3 fate and 1 persona.
Nice. It's not bad.
Not bad. I spent a persona and no fate, so I'm up to 9 fate now.
It's almost enough.
Almost enough to do the thing. I'm just gonna spend them all on the same Vintner roll. This is all at the same time.
Well, so if you biff sorcery, you can spend 1 fate to reroll a not success.
God. Okay.
Because sorcery should be open-ended.
It's true. Oh god, sorcery. Why am I doing sorcery again?
I said it's your choice. You can go sorcery or symbology.
I mean, I think in my head, what I'm gonna backdoor Indiso into Purple Song.
Okay.
Essentially.
Yep.
Like I'm gonna have the Elven wine magic, but it's not actually going to be the Elven wine magic. It's gonna be like those weird, what was the Satanist's name? Huxley. His like weird homebrew version of that thing.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Sorcery is clearly an integral part of that.
Yeah.
So.
Lady Margreta, Agnesia, Luca. Oh, you didn't put it in your whole thing. Pascalina de Fabry. There you go. It just popped up.
So I don't know if I further inserted myself into the usurper court. This is really a long-term belief.
Mm-hmm.
I will disrupt the usurper's efforts by getting access to their ledgers. I know there are keys now, but I don't have access to them per se. All changes rooted in chaos. I think it's going to wind up changing to like in order to weaken my enemies.
Or like sowing misinformation.
Right, like that's going to be, yeah. Yes, I think we'll think about it for next time.
I feel like you made progress in either 1 or 2, and I'm not sure
yeah.
which. Because you definitely got closer to the ledgers. Or you definitely got closer to the court. Or, I mean, maybe there's an argument there for both. And Timothy's just this sweet little knife that you can...
Well, yeah. Yeah, you've got Timothy on the line. You know a secret about one of the court members being dead that other people don't know. You know that there's specifically a dirty guardsman that you can leverage. Like, there's stuff going on there.
Spoilers, that guardsman works for the hunts mistress lady.
Nice.
I figured she finally has to get some screen time.
Yeah.
She's probably pretty tired of our shit by now.
She's definitely got questions for you.
It's about that poisoning.
Yeah, so you poisoned my favorite daughter-in-law.
Who? No.
Right.
Look.
That was literally like 3 sessions ago.
Instincts get you in trouble, Mike?
In trouble? No. I mean, maybe, but no.
I don't think so.
No, because like the worst in trouble that it's been is that somebody caught me forging a note and hiding it.
I mean, that's in trouble. Like, that's not a great spot to be in.
Yeah, so we're gonna get reported. You're gonna get reported back to Hunts Mistress Lady, right? As the super incompetent spy that was standing in the open and forging a suicide note for Dwarf.
Or just like,
I thought all her rolls succeeded though.
yeah,
So she didn't really fail into trouble.
mm-hmm.
She plotted into trouble.
I mean,
He would have been much more upset with you if you had failed the roll.
If I had failed. If I had done poorly at this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that I've got. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know why I closed that window. That window's going to be.
So you've got a couple fate, I think. I think beliefs 1 and 2 pay out fate.
So, 5 fate.
Okay.
wow.
And Magnus.
So non-citizens should not be allowed here. I'll drive them out of business. I didn't get to that scene. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I must preserve the citizenship. I'll bring together the old families by restoring the Merchants Guild. I definitely started working on that today.
Yep.
For the possibly last time, but not closing out that one yet.
Yeah, you get fate for that, definitely.
Fate for that one. My wealth is my power. I must use it to thwart the Silver Hearth by owning the land. I don't know if I...
Do you feel like you're done?
I don't know. I don't know where this is... If it kind of depends on the Duel of Wits.
Okay.
Like, if I refocus my...
Well, I mean, like,
target-
do you feel like you did the thing? Like, do you feel like this is true and you can stop?
Yeah, I think so. I think if it's gonna evolve into new
Okay.
avenues, anyways.
Okay, then you get your persona.
Okay.
Any of your instincts get you into trouble?
I don't think I'm in trouble yet. Once again, depending on how the Duel of Wits goes out, I might have traits or instincts getting me in trouble, but nothing happened bad really this session that tied to that.
Violent.
Right. Well, like, the elf lady's violent too, right? Which is just...
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, I take, for the merchant class, I assume violence is cutthroat,
Yes.
not necessarily.
I'm just
I
waiting
mean,
for
there
the
might be
duel.
violent.
The Duel of Wits
I mean-
becomes an actual duel, right?
Yeah, this 40-year-old merchant that probably never picked up a weapon in his life versus 400-year-old lady that, I don't know. probably
Who
has
knows what the hell
bodyguards
she's
hidden
been up
behind-
to? Right.
Yeah. That's right. I was going to look into buying bodyguards too.
It's not a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I think that that just about does it for this week. Happy August, everyone. We're officially in August on the East Coast. I'm going to stop keeping people with kids awake, which is the rest of y'all. But we've been That D&D Podcast. Come hang out with us Tuesdays and Thursdays and other days that we announce on Twitter. But we try to stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The other game is Legacy, Life Among the Ruins, which seems really cool, and you should check it out. And then we try to do this every Tuesday. But until next time, follow us on social media. We're everywhere /That D&D Podcast. Yeah, have a good day, have a good night, and take care of yourselves out there.
Toodaloo.
Good night, Internet.